4th down and 6. Olbridge got to have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look. Corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead. And the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
And Gracie comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first, in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions.
Live from the Warananko Sports Arena in Roselle, New Jersey, PDF Sports Network welcomes you to continuing coverage of the American Arena League 2 and the Jersey Bearcats. Tonight, we got a good one here. The battle for New Jersey. We are about 20 minutes away from opening kickoff here at Warananko, and so we welcome you to the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show. My name is David Pizzuto alongside Akeem James for the first time on the PDF Sports Network. Akeem, we got a good one for your debut. It's the Bearcats and the Roughnecks, Part 2.
Yes, we definitely got a great one. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dave, for having me on today. It's sure to be a real good matchup today between both teams. Definitely great that they're both coming off a win, so I know they're both going to come in motivated, ready to get this win. It's week 5, and we're going to be drawing close to the end of the season soon, so these teams both have the playoffs on their mindset. And I know for sure that the Bearcats want to remain undefeated at the end of this evening's game.
Well, you said the key word, undefeated for the Bearcats. They're one of 2 undefeated teams in the AAL2 so far, Akeem, and that's been really one of the big stories in the AAL. The Bearcats play in the Eastern Division. We'll take a quick look at the standings in just a moment, but they'll come up on your screen, and you can see the Bearcats at 4-0 and the Roughnecks right behind them, but 2 games out. And, of course, these 2 teams did meet once before back in week 1, so the Bearcats are starting kind of that second round through their schedule against some of these Eastern teams.
Yes, definitely. I know the Bearcats want to remain the leaders in the Eastern Division, and I think it's going to be important that the Roughnecks attempt to make sure this game is close and competitive, and ultimately they can get the win. I know that loss back in week 1 was rough for them, but like you were saying before, that 2-quarterback system has been hard to figure out, not just for the Roughnecks, but for a lot of other teams as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was going to be a question I was going to ask you, Akeem, because a lot of teams, and you could see the Bearcats winning last week by a score of 33-0 to keep their undefeated streak alive, as did the Indians winning 50-19. They're the league's other undefeated team. But you mentioned the 2-quarterback system, Akeem, and that's a great point that you made because, you know, my partner for these games, Joe Foreman, he likes to tell me all the time, he says, Dave, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. But really, the Jersey Bearcats are really defying that logic. They have 2 guys who can come in. Coach A.J. Roquet has told us that there is no depth chart there. Both of these guys are number 1 guys, and they're pulling it off. These guys come in, and they're both having, you know, pretty magical seasons of their own.
They're definitely pulling it off, and shout-outs to Coach A.J. because at the end of the day, this team is looking for the win. And like he said, there's no depth chart, so I look for him today to have his team ready, and Chris Colo and Rodriguez are going to continue what they've been doing these last 4 weeks. So it's going to be an interesting matchup to see how the Roughnecks come back in after the week 1 loss. I want to see if they've tweaked anything on the defensive game plan because that's going to be really, really important. Like I said, these teams want to come out of here with the win, and it's going to show at the end of the night who wanted it more.
Absolutely. And, we touched a little bit about the Bearcats offensively, their two-quarterback system. Of course, they like to run and they like to pass the ball as well. But just like when we saw in the final score, 33-0, that was their first shutout of the season, Akeem. So as good as this offense can be, their defense is really gelling. They seem to be getting better and better every week. They gave up 26 points in that Week 1 win against the Roughnecks. Since then, they've given up 12 points, 8 points, and no points. So they're really finding themselves, and this defense is really, impenetrable sometimes.
No, indeed. Like we saw earlier, we had a little short interview with Coach Ja. He said, and most importantly, that his defense was gelling much faster than his offense, which is a scary sign for any team looking to face the Bearcats, because the last thing you want to see is a defense gain their confidence and continue to move along, and then there you go, an offense clicking just as long right with them. And it's a scary sight for any team. And the scariest part is just coming off a shutout. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how the Roughnecks come out with an offensive game plan. Are they going to look to run the ball? They're going to try to put it through the sky like they kind of had some success early on in Week 1.
Absolutely. And before we throw it over to our commercial break, one last question, Akeem, and it goes towards the opponents tonight, the New Jersey Roughnecks. This is a first-year program. They started their program in October of this year, and so far they're having a pretty decent start. They're 2-2. They played the Bearcats probably tougher than any other opponent so far this year, and a win here would be kind of a staple moment for their franchise.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you just think about it, the Roughnecks came out and battled, like you said, the Bearcats 40-26, and that was just Week 1. That's a real strong effort for a team who just got started last fall. And like I said, they were 2-2, so it shows that they're starting to gain a little bit of momentum. And hopefully with this second matchup, we'll see the improvements start to show.
Absolutely. So we've set it up for you here. What we are going to do is we are going to step aside, take a commercial break. When we come back, we will break this one down further, and we'll go field side to Cameron Williams, who spoke with some of our game participants. It's all coming up right here on the Brownstone pregame show on the PDF Sports Network. Stay with us.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann. Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at TotalPerformanceBodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email Dave Riemann at rcn.com.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
KKT, InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star, just like the Bearcats.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Dirks here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You can vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 Arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AOL2 football.
Welcome back to Jersey Bearcats football here on the PDF Sports Network. We are about 8 to 10 minutes away from opening kickoff here between the undefeated Jersey Bearcats and the 2-2 New Jersey Roughnecks. It's time to go field side, where PDF's Cameron Williams caught up with a couple of Bearcats players and coaches. Let's throw it down now to Cameron, who is with offensive lineman Steven Nelson. Cameron, take it away.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Steven Nelson, O-lineman. Steve, the run game has been so crucial this year for the Jersey Bearcats. How have you and the O-lineman been able to create holes for our runners to run through the gaps?
Just communication mostly. Just knowing where we got to go and how we got to block it and getting guys out of the way.
Going into this week versus the Roughnecks again, you guys are 4-0 thus far. Will you guys continue to utilize the run game this heavy to possibly get your second win over the Roughnecks here?
I mean, I'd imagine so, but I think we're just going to find what works today and stick with it.
And what has the preparation been like going into week 5 here versus the Jersey Roughcats?
Watching film, studying guys, studying ourselves, see what we got to fix, and just figuring out what we got to do to keep the momentum moving.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Back to Dave and Akeem up in the booth.
All right, great job, Cameron. And, of course, we got to hear a little bit from the guys in the trenches with Steven Nelson down there. Now we're going to flip it and talk a little bit defensive line. Cameron Williams is downstairs with Joey Ramirez. Cameron, take it away.
So, guys, here I'm with Joey Ramirez. Joey, going into this game, week 5 here, what would be the key to victory?
1/8. Do your job, everyone. Listen in, paying attention, and just being one unit.
Awesome. Yeah, love that. What's been the most fun part of the season thus far? You guys are 4-0. You guys slammed the other team 33-0 last week. Going into this week, how you guys feeling?
We feel good. I mean, we have fun. When our offense scores, everyone goes crazy, and that makes everyone else wild up on defense, and that means we got to do our jobs. It's a fun time. It's a fun environment when we're winning.
Winning 33-0 last week, how do you guys look to build off of that? Not allowing any points, do you guys look to do the same, and what will be the keys to doing that?
We always want to have no points scored. Goose egg, it makes the defense happy, makes our D coordinator happy, makes the team happy. It makes it easier for the offense. And like I said, everyone's just doing their job. As long as everyone at all hats to the ball, the D-line does their job, the D-backs cover, the linebackers fill. As long as everything goes good on defense, we score a goose egg, offense scores points, we go home with a win.
Thank you, Joey. Back to Dave and Akeem up in the booth.
Looking to keep things going strong on defense. Joey Ramirez and his troops looking to do it for the Bearcats coming off of the shutout. And speaking of defense and speaking of coaches or speaking to coaches, Cameron is now downstairs collected with Ja Valentine, the defensive coordinator of the Bearcats, coming off that shutout. Let's throw it back down to Cameron.
I got Coach Ja here. Coach Ja, you guys let up 0 points last week. How do you guys look to build off of that?
How do we look to build off that? Putting up another shutout. The first week, we didn't know the team we was playing. We didn't have no film on them, nothing. So we just went out there and played football. We got film on them. We know, their tendencies. We know what to stop. So, and we're gonna stop it. I promise you, it's gonna be another shutout.
Who will be your key defenders on defense today?
Oh, everybody on defense. I mean, it always starts with my D-line. You already know that. But everybody on defense, all 8 hats to the ball.
Yeah, for sure. What has the preparation been like going into this week?
It's been offense had us at practice. I'm gonna tell you that. But again, practice is harder than the games, so it's kind of different. And I don't, there's nothing over there that I haven't seen, so I'm not too worried.
I know you just mentioned it that the offense have had you guys this week during practice. Do you guys give the offense credit to your guys' defensive abilities this year thus far?
Oh yeah, we do. At least I do. My defense, we play a little bit harder on them, but I give them credit. Because like I say, practice is harder than the games. It just is what it is.
100%, and they make you work harder.
Yeah, they got to. And then you got to remember this. Offensively, it takes a while to get them, to get them flowing. And we got a lot of young guys. But defense, we kind of gel faster. It's not as many plays, you know what I mean? And it's just all about, brotherhood on both sides of the ball. But our brotherhood started a little bit faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Thank you. Back to Dave and Akeem in the booth.
All right, great job as always, Cameron, and a lot of good stuff to look forward to from our coaches and, of course, our players here for this one, round 2 between the Roughnecks and the Bearcats. Once again, you're watching the Brownstone Bar and Grill in Metuchen pregame show. We're about 3 or 5 minutes away from opening kickoff here, so what we will do is kick it back to a commercial break. When we come back from this short commercial break, Akeem and I will break down our keys to the game here and get you ready for kickoff right here live from the Warananko Sports Arena. It's Bearcats and Roughnecks coming up next.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Refined, restorative, results driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089232694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
We are back here live from the Warananko Sports Arena. We are about 1 minute away from opening tip-off here between the Bearcats and the Roughnecks. Akeem Cameron Williams was downstairs speaking with two of our players, and of course, Coach Valentine, you referenced that conversation during the pregame just moments ago. He wants to put up another goose egg here for his opponents. It's hard to do in arena football, but again, defense playing with confidence, and the Bearcats are already 1-0 against this team. What are some of their keys to victory here today?
I think the keys to victory here are going to be maintaining the level of output they've had all throughout the season so far. The interesting fact, though, is the Roughnecks did only hold their team to 8 points in their last game against the War Eagles, so they've, too, gotten kind of their offense a little bit in stride. So really see what Coach Jaw can get out there and do with his defense. And I think one thing you have to do is maintain the pressure, because we saw in that first game, Spain to Boyd connection. They were definitely able to move the ball in that first half. It just kind of fell apart towards the end of the game for them. So I think for this one, it's going to have to be remain focused, remain disciplined, and most importantly, make sure your fundamentals are correct, because this is going to be a doozy.
Yeah, Roughnecks look a little bit different than they did for that Week 1 game. They have now their true Roughnecks jerseys and helmets, and they played, like you said, tough against this Jersey Bearcats team last time. They actually had a lead in the second half before the Bearcats scored the final 20 points in that game. What do the Roughnecks have to do to get out of Roselle here with a victory?
I think the most important thing for the Roughnecks to do is come in here and be fierce, be aggressive, because you have to let these guys know, yeah, you got us in the first game, but we've learned over that. It's been 3 weeks since then. We're ready to show you what we've learned, and we're going to put you to the test, because most importantly, it's about maintaining that steadfast concentration going in later into the season, because as we know right now, the Roughnecks are number 2 in the East Division. So I know with the win here, they can come a little bit closer to being a serious competitor in the postseason.
All right, our Bearcats dance team is taking on the field as well. So we'll get a look at them, and as they perform, Akeem, we'll keep going with a little bit of our banter here as we get to see their perform. We usually get copyright strikes when they do there, so we'll speak a little bit, through their performance here. We always give them, of course, the raw footage that they can watch later. But one of the things that we learned, Akeem, coming into this game is kind of fresh off the press, is that all the teams in the East are going to make the playoffs. So all 4 teams will make it. So if you're a team like the Roughnecks, you know you're going to make it regardless whether you win or lose the game. So you want to finish the season a lot stronger than how you started. And really, once the playoffs happens, it's really anybody's race.
You're definitely right about that. And with that caveat, it's going to be important, like you said, that they maintain the consistency, especially knowing that you're going to make the playoffs. But you want to be able to put a little bit of fear in the Bearcats' heart. Let them know, like, hey, you guys are 4-0, but we've come to play. We know what's at stake here. Yeah, we just started in the fall, but we're not going to let being a little wet behind the ears stop us from competing on the gridiron.
I want to ask you conversely, too, Akeem. The Bearcats are 4-0, and one of the things I know is very dangerous when you get to playoff time is when you're undefeated going into the playoffs. Everybody obviously wants to take a piece of you, but sometimes as a coach or even as a fan of a lot of teams, you want to see your team, lose one just to get it out of the way. How do you kind of combat that mindset as well?
I think the most important thing to do is just realize what's gotten you here so far. And it's been attention to detail. And that's really important, especially as you look to make a real climb towards that championship. And I think the interesting thing is, like Coach Josh said, is the gel. And with the offense starting to click as well, we're looking to see a really, really strong team. But the Roughnecks are coming to play, and they're not going to lay down to watch the Bearcats go 5-0. But, like you said, trying to get that little goose egg out of the way kind of sometimes make you feel a little bit easier. But then again, would you be feeling all right? Because at the end of the day, if you're undefeated, you're chasing greatness.
Absolutely. And, speaking of undefeated, we'll take a look at the Bearcats' schedule. We put it up before, the Bearcats' schedule, to see how they got to 4-0 and then what's ahead, to see if that undefeated season is within reach. And looking at the opponents, obviously you've already scored a win against the Roughnecks, you've scored a win against the War Eagles, you've scored a win against the Stampede. The Outlaws are kind of that outlier right now, but they're having a struggling season. The Bearcats 8-0 looks very possible.
It is definitely very possible, and like you were talking about, they've already beat a good amount of these teams on their schedule, and with the Outlaw being the Outlaws, who are struggling themselves, it looks very obtainable, and I know those coaches, I know those players, and of course those fans, they definitely want to see their team get to that point in time, going 8-0, and of course finish with a championship. But, anything can happen, and when under the lights, you just never know. So strap in and get ready for a jam-packed one.
Absolutely. Back in 2023, the Bearcats lost their home opener against the Steel City Stampede. They lost on a walk-off at the buzzer, and they ended up running the table from there, winning 9 games in a row and winning the championship in 2023. The Bearcats went to the AAL2 semifinals last year, of course losing to the Wheeling Miners, who ended up winning the championship. Wheeling now in the NAL, so they are out of the league, and as are the Peach State Cats, who were in the championship last year. So that championship is up for grabs. The Bearcats have been there. They know what it feels like. Akeem, it looks like we're getting ready for the national anthem here. So what we will do is we'll mute ourselves, throw it down to the field, and when we come back, it looks like we'll have kickoff for you.
Sounds good with me, Dave. Let them take it away.
Our nation's anthem, instrumental version playing over the loudspeaker here, and we are just about ready to get going. Haven't seen there are our officials. I was going to say, I haven't seen our officials yet, Akeem. That always gives me a little bit of pause, but it's good to see them here. They're collected. I'm sure we'll get our coin toss going, and we'll get started very soon.
Definitely. Always a good sign to see the zebra stripes when they have a clean, organized game. And like Mills Lane, famous referee said, let's get it on.
Let's get it on. And Akeem, this is your first broadcast with us here on the PDF Sportsnet. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your sports background as well.
I've always been a sports fan. I could definitely attest to that. My dad, Richard Powell, he's always been kind of that one to lead me into sports, whether it be basketball, my first love, football, my second love, and then venturing out to baseball and just having that real love. And my dad, he wasn't just a one sport guy. We would watch different sports all the time. I even caught myself watching hockey, and I talked to a few of the PDF sports staff, even watched some volleyball, Olympic style as well. So I like to really mix it up a bit, and I'm thankful for PDF Sports and, of course, you, Dave, for giving me this opportunity. Looking forward to calling a good game here. Looking forward to seeing a real barn throne burner here.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to see more of you. We're going to throw it downstairs again for the Bearcats dance team. This time we'll let it play out as they do our coin toss as well.
Awesome.
We're joined by representatives of the Union County Police PBA logo number 73. Joining us tonight are PBA President Ken Dalrymple, State Delegate Jamar Hall, and Officer Masher Terry. Before we flip the coin, let's have a big round of applause for our local heroes.
They are getting set for the coin toss here, Akeem, and a little bit of a hush over the crowd allows us a chance to speak a little bit. And, one thing that I love about this Bearcats team, Akeem, is that they've said in the coin toss, if they win it, they always want the ball first because they always want to set the tone offensively. Sometimes you don't see that in football. You see a lot of deferring of the kickoff to the second half. The Bearcats want the ball.
Oh, I definitely like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a right, proper place and time to be conservative. But those Bearcats, they, like you said, they want to set the tone. And that's important, especially to show that they've been winning so far up until this point. It's working. So why stop?
Absolutely. So we'll see what the result of the coin toss here. It also is First Responders Night here at Roselle. Every home game has a theme for the Bearcats. The opener was Youth Night. Every youth in attendance got a free book, courtesy of our friends at Riff. Reading is fundamental, and a lot of giveaways that went on, a lot of on-field activities for the kids as well. And it looks like the Bearcats, at least by that call, won the toss and will probably get the ball first. And a little bit of extra flavor for this game. I know we mentioned it before, Akeem, but these are the only two Jersey teams in the AAL2. And so a little bit of bragging rights for the state on the line. Bearcats, of course, won round one, but the Roughnecks would love to get even here in their state.
Oh, definitely. Whoever wins here really makes a big jump in the division. But the most important thing, like you said, is having those bragging rights for the good old state of Jersey. And I know the Roughnecks just want to sit there and get their name put out there. They want fans to know, and most importantly, they want the other teams to know they're coming.
Absolutely. It looks like the Bearcats are fixing to get the ball first here. Kickoffs from the goal line. The ball is live, of course. It looks like the dance team will have a performance, so we'll throw it down to them. Lady Bearcats, they'll be the subject of our halftime interviews with Cameron Williams. We'll throw it down to him during halftime. And with that, the Roughnecks are on the field, getting ready to kick off here, and the Bearcats are in their final huddle on the other side of things. Looks like Shea Davis, number 55, will do the kicking off. Davis is a former Jersey Bearcat, played the first 2 years with the Bearcats, but with the Roughnecks opening up in South Jersey, Shea, a resident more from the southern side of Jersey, decided to latch on with the Roughnecks. Nice addition to their team.
Like LeBron in 2010, he took his talents down south. I like it.
We do miss Shea here in Bearcats territory. Shea was actually a phenomenal national anthem singer, so actually sung the anthem for the home games last year, so that was also a treat for us. Always love hearing from Shea and keeping up with him on Instagram as well. He'll let it fly here.
Here we go.
Line drive kick. It's a good one, and it does back Stewart all the way up. This is a live ball, and the Bearcats do have to get it out, otherwise risk surrendering points. And Stewart is bottled up and thrown into the end boards, and the Bearcats will be backed up here, probably from about their own 5-yard line.
Definitely a good start for the Roughnecks to get that kickoff started and make sure that the Bearcats didn't do anything with it. Let's see what this two-quarterback system can do. Here is the rematch, and it's about to be underway. I'm excited.
Ball is spotted at the 4-yard line, so our first down marker will be at the 14. It'll be tough for us on this side, Akeem, looking at the down and distance portion of things, but we don't have a chain gang out yet either. That was a big problem in the last home game, judging where the first down markers were.
Well, Dave, I'm glad I could rely on your veteran leadership to guide me through this. Yeah,
I got the leadership. I don't have the eyeballs. That's what I'm missing. Although LASIK has helped.
Oh, I'm glad.
So they start off with Mateo Rodriguez out of the shotgun. The Bearcats will operate with both quarterbacks tonight, as they have the first 4 games. The give underneath is to Adams. Adams bottled up. Yep, by a host. First one in there was number 58, Aziz Timms. Nice job by the Roughnecks.
Yes, good first play on defense. Not letting them go anywhere with that run up the middle. Interested to see how they come out for the
second down and 11 coming up. Second down and 11 coming up. One thing about the Bearcats, they will mix it up, run and pass. They do like to take the top off of the defense as well. And Rodriguez is a threat to run. 2 in motion. Ward leading the way. Ward is going
ball's in the air.
It's thrown inside. And Ward makes the catch, and he's in for the score. A 2-play touchdown drive for the Bearcats. They're up 6-0.
They just came out on the second play of the series and just threw a bomb. As you were saying, that 2-quarterback system, but that one, Mateo Rodriguez to Kyle Ward, what a play, and the Bearcats are on the board. How will the Roughnecks respond?
Yeah, we'll get another look at it here. They are going to line up for the 1-point conversion. We'll get you back in just a moment, but we'll get to appreciate this throw first. In stride. And doing the rest was Kyle Ward. It looks like we got an illegal defense was the rallying cry that went up. Anthony Starego on to kick the 1-point conversion.
Yeah, it looks like the Roughnecks wanted to get on off that line a little bit too quick with the wrong defensive scheme going.
I don't know if they backed the Bearcats up there or not quite sure, but either way, snap is down. Starego's kick is going to drop in there good.
7-0 Bearcats, and they have come out ready to play.
Yeah, we're going to get another look at that replay too and let it ride here. Slow it down just a little bit. So get the appreciation on the throw here. And that's the thing with both of these quarterbacks. They have the ability to sling it downfield. You could see Ward was in motion. He was the inside guy. And look at this perfect strike.
Beautifully thrown, right on the money.
In stride.
And Ward, like you said, finished the job all the way. That's what an undefeated team looks like. They don't waste any time. They get right to action. And, of course, now they're up 7-0. And it's the Roughnecks' turn to show whether they can keep this game close.
That's why you want the ball first, Hakeem.
Indeed. It works out for the Bearcats RC.
So 7-0 is our score here. The Bearcats go 2 plays and cover about 46 yards on the drive, 47 on that pass. From Rodriguez to Ward. Now remember, onside kicks are in play. 10 yards up the field.
Barry Turner with the kick.
Yep. On the bounce, they do play it at about the 12-yard line, and now coming in close to us. Good open field tackle that time by Javon Taylor on Blessing Harris. But they'll start off in good field position, will the Roughnecks?
Yeah, just almost about midfield. Looks like we're going to have to see what they're going to put up in order to keep the Bearcats from dominating this game.
So they'll start at exactly the 20-yard line here, so just shy of midfield. Kenyon Spade will be the quarterback. He is the quarterback of record in that first game between these two teams.
And Spain is no slouch. He knows what the Bearcats are going to bring, so he's determined to make sure his team stays in this. Let's see what they got dialed up for the first play to drive.
A threat to run the ball as well, and does have the arm to get it down the field. Gives a second
there
look.
He's off.
And now
Spain lets it go.
We'll throw it. And it's incomplete, middle of the field.
Just like this, Bryant reached it.
So 2nd and 10 coming up. Yeah, and that's the ability that Spain gives you. By getting out of the pocket, Akeem is able to then survey and cut the field in half.
Definitely, that mobility gives him another option, another chance to score. And he's pretty quick coming off that edge, so look for the Bearcats to try to keep him contained and no longer getting out of the pocket to be able to throw downfield.
Yeah, I thought he was going to run with that, but saw the streaking wide receiver in the middle of the field. But the Bearcats were up for it on the coverage. 2nd down and 10, clock running, under 10 minutes to go here, first quarter. First drive of the game for the Roughnecks. In the backfield is Bird. To the left of Spain. Bird will get it on the underneath carry, and that is not going to go for much, if anything at all. Keemon Coleman first in on the stop.
Bearcats, second play, they're reacting fast to the ball. That play didn't go up anywhere. Let's hope the Roughnecks can get something dialed up here.
Officially a 3rd down and 11 coming up.
And the key thing is going to be momentum. You don't want a team that's been dominating to feel like they have momentum. So the Roughnecks need to make a statement here.
Yeah, exactly. And you understand, going past, then run. You want to give the Bearcats a lot to think about here, Akeem, but now it's 3rd and long, and they need a big chunk of this at least. Out of the shotgun, as we'd expect all game, Spain with Bird to his right. Bird flanks out. It's going to be up, middle of the field, and broken up. Nice play by Musa O'Day in the middle. He was camped out back there and broke things up against Harris.
The Bearcats are just bearing down, not letting anything get behind them, and that's what Coach Ja ultimately wanted. He wanted to make sure his team comes out here and exerts their will on the Roughnecks.
Get another look at that 3rd down play, and you can see the time was there, but O'Day was camped out right in the middle of the secondary, had some cornerback help bearing down as well. And it sets up a 4th down and long, and we'll see. It looks like a timeout has been called, or I don't know if this is a television timeout. It is. So with the first quarter timeout, we will thank our friends at Pino's Bakery here. So with the break in the action, we will remind you that the first quarter is brought to you by Pino's Bakery, located at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, New Jersey. Pino's is your prime stop for specialty cakes and pastries and deli delights. Always fresh and made to order, our family-owned shop prides itself on bringing our kitchen into your homes and your heart. Pino's is where family, tradition, and goodness is a daily thing. Visit us, 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, or online at pinosbakery.net. Thank you to our friends at Pino's. And perhaps that timeout at a really good time for this Roughnecks team, Akeem, because they get to talk things over ahead of this big 4th down and 11.
Definitely. Looks like the Roughnecks need some Pinos because the Bearcats are starving them right now, and hopefully they can get something going on 4th and 11. Looks like.
So maybe fixing to punt here. I don't think so, though. Especially with the low ceiling, it's kind of hard to punt in this facility, but it is an option if Spain gets in trouble, that's for sure. Once again, Burt to his right, trips to the left otherwise. They look in the flat. Now middle of the field, extending and making the play at the Bearcats 15. That's good enough for a first down by Joshua Boyd.
And as we saw in game one, Joshua Boyd was able to have some positivity in the past game and the connection with Spain. So hopefully they can utilize this to go forward and maybe mix it up a bit and keep the Bearcats on the heels.
Yeah, nice job to look off in the flat and then connecting with Spain with Boyd. Great play there.
That was a beautiful catch in traffic.
Yep, and they needed 11 and got about 16 on the play, so it'll be a 1st and 10 at the Bearcats 14. It's a nice box to check if you're the Roughnecks. You hate to go 4 and out on your first drive after yielding a touchdown. Instead, they continue the drive. And let's see if they can cash in on some points. 7:50 to go.
And you want to be patient here. You don't want to sit there and get too hasty with your decisions, because as you've seen, the Bearcats were all over those earlier plays. So hopefully the Roughnecks can maintain their momentum going after that pass play.
Play clock winding down, and now it's going to be a delay of game. You could see it coming. Boyd got off to a slow start. They'll back things up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15.
And that's one of the things, the keys, is maintaining your discipline. You do not want unnecessary calls on your team, mitigating them from being able to score.
We talk about it a lot, too, Akeem, for these games. You know, the intangibles, turnovers, and penalties play a big part in this constricted field. And that's our first one of the game. 1st and 15. Spain this time with 3 wide receivers to his right. It is Boyd in motion, and Spain bootlegs that way. Almost intercepted. Ramirez had it. He was sitting in that zone and nearly came down with it.
Nearly came down with it, like you said. And that's really scary because that's a big guy to get the interception out there. So I don't know. Hopefully Spain can get a little bit more movement coming out there and not necessarily throw it so much into traffic. That almost went the other way.
Yeah, we'll get another chance to see it here on your screen. Spain's been doing a good job of looking off a couple of receivers and making second decisions, but there just didn't see Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez just sitting on it. And one thing I have to say about Spain, he is getting the ball out fast, but like you said, he just didn't see Ramirez right there, and that could have cost him. Let's see what they do here. First a penalty, then almost an interception.
Yeah, you don't really expect Ramirez to drop back in coverage like that, too, Akeem. He's usually a bona fide pass rusher coming in on the quarterback just about every play. He's one of the team leaders in sacks this season, so you don't really expect to see him out there in coverage, and maybe Spain got confused there. He does have a lot of time to throw. In the flat, they go to Bird. Bird gets stood up close to the first down, or closer, before he's guided out of bounds by Nick Price. They'll be a couple of yards short here.
Now that's a good positive play after the last one.
Yeah, 3rd down and 3 coming up.
And it seems with the Roughnecks, they really want to try to utilize some of that speed coming out. You want to basically get the Bearcats running. And if you could turn this into a track meet, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of sometimes work right at the line of scrimmage is what you need, Akeem. All you need to do is make that first guy miss. And next thing you know, you're 5, 10, 15 yards down the field. Had it not been for that penalty, that would have been good enough for a first down.
Definitely.
3rd down and 3, though. They need to get to the 4-yard line for a first. So they can.
Are they thinking pay dirt or are they thinking first down?
Just there we go. They go inside, and struggling for more yards was Bird. Now we'll see where they gave him.
You definitely want to see where that spot is.
He's going to be a little bit short. 4th down and 1 coming up.
And I don't know if the fans can see it. Coach Jaw was out there basically trying to let the ref know where that spot was, but the ref had to tell him back up a little bit, Coach. I got it.
Get to see a little bit of the power running that time by Bird. You can see he got stood up right there at the 5, so it will be a 4th down and 1 coming up.
Yeah, they just walled him up and prevented it.
4th and 1. Big play here. They will go to the pass. It is Spain. Gets flushed out by Ramirez. Looking to Davis, it looked like. Is he in on the bounce? He is.
He is in. Wow.
And that was Kenyon Spain making more room for himself. And that's Shea Davis with the catch, I believe. The eligible lineman. We'll see it again on the replay just to be sure. Yeah, there he is blocking. Now runs out into the flat.
Leaks out?
Yeah, he
What
makes the
can't
catch.
Davis do? Oh, my God.
Wow.
This guy's a Swiss Army knife for the Roughnecks.
Yeah, I thought he was put in there simply to block or to be a decoy, but how do you like that? The Roughnecks convert 2 4th downs.
And that's what's it's gonna take to confuse the Bearcats. You got to change it up. You don't want to remain the same going into it, and let's see if they can get this 2-point conversion.
Yep, they're going to look to grab the lead here. Now, there is a flag down. Looks like they might have gotten off to too quick of a start. We'll see. So we saw Shea Davis kick the kickoff. Not quite sure if they have a kicker on this roster other than him. So perhaps it's 2 points or bust for the entire game for this Roughnecks team. And these extra points be a big difference.
They will be a big difference. And, hey, when you're going against an undefeated team, your back is against the wall. You cannot spare any of your arsenal.
That penalty looked like it was against the Bearcats because they moved the ball up to the 1-yard line instead of the 2. So perhaps a little bit easier here for the Roughnecks, who did convert a couple of 2-point conversions the first time these two teams met. It's Davis again in the backfield with Bird. Bird now flanks Spain to his left. They give underneath once again to Davis. Davis powering past the goal line, and it is
He's
good
in.
for 2. Shea Davis show puts the Roughnecks on top, 8-7.
Shea Davis, as you said, Dave, he used to play for the Bearcats but took his talents down to South Jersey to play with the Roughnecks. And he's showing he still can ball because he's making sure his team is now on the board.
So 8-7 is our score here with 2:40 to go in the first quarter. And I think the story of that drive, aside from Shea Davis, Hakeem, is the fact that 2 fourth-down conversions gets you 8 points on the board.
Those conversions were really, really impactful because the Bearcats felt like they had them, especially coming out early on with those couple of drop passes and that almost picked by Ramirez. But I like that the Roughnecks stayed composed, didn't let the chaos get into their heads, and they continue to drive downfield. And, of course, Spain to Davis, and then with the Davis 2-point conversion has got them with the lead.
Bearcats have only been behind against one team this season, and it is the Roughcats. They fell behind twice in the opener, came back, scored the last 20 points of that game to win 40-26, and now down here in the early stages of this one. Short kick. It gets past O'Day, and don't get to see where it ends up. Bearcats did get on top of it before they were wrestled out of bounds. And once again, the Bearcats will just outside the 10. Looks like the ball is spotted at the 11-yard line.
And it's interesting with the time of possession going mainly to the Roughnecks because it took them so long to get started. But now Mateo Rodriguez is back out there. Let's see what him and the coach got dialed up because they scored really fast. Second play of the drive during their first series.
Yep. Again, a 2-play drive for the Bearcats, and they only took about 3 minutes off the clock, and the rest of that time, about 10 minutes, taken off by the Roughnecks as we have a short stoppage here. They do want to get the chains moved, I believe. Looks like it's correct enough. Again, 4 15-minute quarters here in Arena. The clock does run a majority of the time with the exception of possession changes. And in the last minute of the first and second halves. Now we're getting ready to start. Rodriguez continues to be the quarterback of record for the Bearcats. Threw a 47-yard touchdown on drive 1. Adams with the shuffle, right side, running with purpose.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's past the first down marker,
run.
I believe.
What a run. What a run by Adams. He was coming out of there with intentions to bring the pain, and boy, did he. And they're right off to a good start.
Yeah, we'll get another look at the run in just a moment, but something that Nas Adams said during the week, Akeem, is he wants to run a little bit more north and south as opposed to east and west. Doesn't want to dance anymore at the line of scrimmage, wants to hit the hole speed.
Oh, definitely. That would make Jim Brown shed a tear right there. North and south is really the most important thing you really want to do because you really want to gain yards. You don't want to lose them.
So it will be a 2nd and short instead of a 1st and 10. So they marked them down just outside the 20. So 2nd and a little bit less than 1 here. Ward in motion along with Simmons, and he was offside. Ward got off to a little bit of a head start. He was about a yard in front of Simmons, and they're going to back this one up. It'll be 2nd down and 6 coming up.
Looks like he was trying to recreate that magic, what happened on the first series. But looks like they got backed up there because of it.
Yeah, something I learned about Nas Adams, Akeem, on the Bearcats Blitz, a podcast that they do every week, is Adams was actually a 3-year defensive lineman in college.
Wow.
And now he's playing running back here in Arena. So That's a pretty shifty and speedy defensive lineman right there.
Indeed, and like what you say, anything you put your mind to, you can achieve, and you can even make the change from defense into offense, and I like that.
All right, 2nd and 6, Rodriguez. They redo the play. They work it in the flat. The catch is made, and with a little bit more room is Thomas, and Thomas does get enough for the first down before Timms and Bunt put him out. So see a lot of the different things that the Bearcats are able to do offensively, Akeem. Run the ball, throw it deep, throw it in the flat. They kind of, as a defense, they make you think about a lot of things.
Definitely make you think about a lot of things. And I know they had a shutout last game, but it goes to show that their offense was clicking just as much too.
Right.
So look for them to come back real strong. And let's hope for the Roughnecks to get a stop here because they got the lead.
We had another penalty on the play, illegal hands to the face. So this will be interesting here.
2 penalties. Not good at all for the offense. And this feeds right into the Roughnecks one. You want to get into the mind of the Bearcats. You want them to have a couple of missteps. You want them to overthink, and that's going to be most important to try to beat them.
2nd down and 11 coming up. Now, we understand at home if you are experiencing some internet connectivity issues and we are choppy, we do know that is the Wi-Fi here at Warananko. At the conclusion of this game, we will have a flawless broadcast uploaded in the event that we are not coming through successfully. But unfortunately, we are at the mercy of wireless internet at Warananko. There is no hardwired internet here, and so we'll do the best we can. But we understand our feed is a little bit choppy. Rodriguez, runners in motion. It's still 2nd down here. Rodriguez can run the football, now throws it out. No one in the vicinity there. It'll be 3rd down.
And look at the Roughnecks capitalizing on both those penalties. Make sure they got Rodriguez out of the pocket, and he just had no one to throw it to, Dave.
Yeah, really nothing to do. You don't want to take a sack there. You want to risk putting the ball in harm's way, but did the wise thing there. And it'll be 3rd down and long. Final 40 seconds or so of this first half. We'll see if they're able to get a playoff here before the end of the first.
Looks like they might, yeah.
What should be the final play here of this first quarter. 3rd down and 11 coming up for Jersey. Big play here. They'd like to get at least a chunk of this back. Simmons is deep in the backfield. He'll get the running start. And we have a flag down. And I think it will be a timeout called by the Bearcats. So the Bearcats call for time. With 12.5 seconds to go.
Interesting choice to take a timeout. But like you said, Dave, they really want to get back a chunk of those yardages going into the second.
Yep, unless A.J. Roquet didn't like what he was seeing there on that motion. And it is a big play. 3rd down and 11. You're going to go for it again on 4th down, almost undoubtedly. You got to make sure this play is good. Otherwise, you're setting up the Roughnecks pretty much 1st and goal, just outside the 10, be a 1st and 10.
And you got to give the Roughnecks credit. Outside of the penalties that's been happening, their defense has been getting in there and making it a little bit uncomfortable for that Bearcats offense. And you got to give a cap off to those guys for doing that because they know what's at stake here.
Yep. It's one of the things that the Bearcats really earmarked, though, was to stay out of the penalties. And the penalties have really wiped away some pretty good plays on this drive so far. Let's see if they can get out of this hole. Rodriguez, Simmons with the head start. Looking all the way down the field. He's going to throw a rope the other way. It's going to be almost intercepted in and out of the hands of Dustin Singleton. And that'll be the final play of the first. So we are at the end of 1 quarter complete. We're going to throw it down the field to Cameron Williams. And we'll get him set up. All right, Cameron, down to you.
Yeah, guys, so Nas Adam has a little slight issue that he's going to possibly play through on his left forearm. He's got a couple blood drawn through there, but he looks to play for it. That's Nas Adams. But listening to the coach, thus far, they have to clean it up on defense and offense. They've had some costly issues with some penalties that have gone back and forth and kind of hurt them and bite them in the butt. They're going to have to look to go past that. But other than that, a huge touchdown pass by Mateo Rodriguez on the second play of the first drive. Other than that, the Bearcats are looking strong. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Good stuff from field side, and we'll have the Bearcats dancers out on the field as well. But coming up, a big play here, Akeem. 4th down and 11 coming up.
Definitely big play here, Dave. And if you would have asked me at the beginning of the game, would you believe that the Roughnecks would be up going into the second period, I would have told you no.
Yeah, it's like one of the – trying to think if they were ever down at the end of a quarter, and they have not. So I'm thinking back to that first game.
And it's interesting how scoring fast kind of put them in an interesting position because the Roughnecks took a bunch of time off the clock in terms of those 2 4th and 1 conversions, and then, of course, leading to the score from Spain to Davis.
So we'll see if the Bearcats can get out of this hole here. Down by 1 point on a 4th and 11, and certainly not wanting to give the Roughnecks the ball back this deep into their own end. The ball spotted right outside the 10.
You definitely don't want to give the ball back to the Roughnecks. That'll give them a huge boost. They got to stop, and they'll feel confident with their offense going back onto the field.
Now, what's interesting here is that I think they have the markers in the wrong place, Akeem, because the first down marker should be at the 21. They have it at the 19. So the Bearcats got a little bit of a gift here on this spot as they reverse the field.
They definitely did. This is a game of interest, and every yard counts. So those 2 extra yards can make all the difference between them converting and not converting.
Yep. So it is a 4th down and 9, at least according to where the sticks are. Now, I see the Roughnecks on their bench motioning that stick is in the wrong place. It is definitely in the wrong place. You can see some of the points. The coaches are trying to get the attention of the officials. This will be interesting. If they get this ball at the 20-yard line and get a first down, ooh, that's tough if you're a Roughnecks fan. But either way here, big 4th down. Can they convert? Rodriguez stays into the game at quarterback for the Bearcats. 2 wide receivers to his left. Long count. The look is downfield. Rodriguez running out of time. He'll dump it off. A great timing pattern to Simmons. And he's down the other way, all the way in for the touchdown.
Wow. Just wow. Look at that. The Bearcats were just on a conversion. Hit pay dirt.
Unbelievable. Certainly not how they scripted it, but you take a look again. Rodriguez buying time in the pocket, going left, doubling back, and look at the job by Simmons to make himself open here, Akeem. And a perfect pass on the run, and Simmons does the rest.
Oh, yes, the yards after the catch. He was able to just fly by those Roughneck defenders right into the end zone.
Rodriguez with touchdown passes of 47 and 41 yards. Gives them a 13-8 lead, and they will go for 1 here. Starego and Crisculo to hold.
Kind of stings a little bit for the Roughnecks. Felt like they controlled a lot on defense and just got exploited by it.
Starego's kick is good, and it makes it a 6-point game, 14-8. But I'll tell you what, team, 2 really big plays by this Bearcats has been the difference off the arm of Rodriguez, and he did a little bit with the legs as well.
Indeed, like a knockout puncher. It could happen at any time, so you got to be conservative if you're the Roughnecks. You just can't give up plays like that.
Yeah. We're going to get a chance to see it again. We'll see it a little bit slower this time, just to get a sense of the job that Rodriguez does, and also the job that Simmons is right there coming across your screen. Sees Rodriguez going to his right, goes with him, and just a nice job.
And look at that move on the defender. That was clean, right into the end zone. And you got to give credit to the offensive line, buying Rodriguez some time to get outside the pocket and make a play.
And again, I thought Rodriguez was going to take off and run a couple of times there, but give him some credit with the defense bearing down, you know, to have that nerve to stay in the pocket, continue to look down. It's hard to be a defensive back in that predicament or in that case.
Yeah, it becomes just a scramble drill. At that point, you're just looking to find where the ball is going. But most importantly, the patience from Rodriguez to, like you said, not take off and run and just deliver the pass.
Borrego with a line drive kick. It is scooped up at the 20-yard line and into the Bearcats' end by Boyd. And he was taken down by Ashton Barnes on the play, but the Roughnecks will have the ball in really good field position to start their second offensive drive of the game at the Bearcats' 22-yard line.
And it was a little inconsistent on that first drive, a couple of missteps, drop passes, almost an interception. But they were able to score, and, of course, score with a two-point conversion. So we're interested to see how they're going to come out. Maybe they're going to give us a little bit more dose of Davis, or they're going to switch it up a bit.
Yeah, and they needed all 4 downs twice on their opening drive to convert. They converted a 4th and 11 and a 4th and 1 to keep things moving and, of course, to get into the end zone. 1 for 1. They are on offense. Let's see what they have in store for us here. Drive number 2 for them. And they'll start it off with Bird in the backfield along with Spain. Spain gives Bird some orders. The fake underneath. Spain looks underneath, and that one is through the hands of Bird. It was tough for Bird to kind of double back and try to catch that.
Oh, definitely. It was a little low pass thrown by Spain, and he kind of put his hand up, letting his guy know that was on him.
Yeah, so Spain getting a little time in the pocket as well. I felt one of the things that the Bearcats did really well, especially in the second half of their first game, Akeem, was really put a lot of pressure on Spain, actually hurt him for half a series or so, where he had to come out of the game and then come back in. But they were getting to him pretty consistently in that first game. I think their offensive line has done a much better job here in this first quarter plus.
Definitely have kept him upright. But the critical thing, I think, for Spain is it looks like you got to get to the outside when you want to deliver some of those passes, because he has an ability to beat those defensive linemen on the Bearcat side.
All three wide receivers on the right side this time. Atkinson in motion. He gets chucked. Middle of the field, and that one is incomplete. But we're going to get a flag here, as it looked like Nick Price might have stopped the route. And we're going to see that one again in the secondary, and we'll slow it down a little bit too. And we'll see the interference there. But the Roughnecks are signaling first down.
That is huge.
And so it's slowed down a little bit. And you take a look here at the jockeying for position. Yeah, it was kind of tough to see it there, but going down on the play was number 10. We don't have a 10 on our roster, at least I don't. It looks like, well, the back of the jersey says kicker on it. So I don't know if that's really his jersey, or if his last name is Kicker, or if it was
That'd be interesting if his last name is Kicker, but he's not kicking. They got those duties over for Davis. So
I could swear it says Kicker on the back of his jersey. Number 10, we're going to call him Kicker.
Number 10's a big guy out there. Let's see if Spain can connect with him.
Now, that was a 10-yard penalty, so it's 1st and 10 from the 12. Spain looking out in the flat. It is caught and held up there. Minimal yard gain by Harris.
Bearcats just didn't let him go anywhere on that play. And that's important, especially after just giving up that penalty. Shockingly, the Bearcats have been highly penalized throughout these first 2 quarters. Let's see if they can remain a little bit more disciplined and not give up some pivotal yards.
We'll have to see where the official marker was for this, but it looks like he might have given him a short loss on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and about 12 coming up as we have a timeout on the field. Looks like they want to get another ball in play. Something might have happened to the ball that was on the field. 2nd down and 11 coming up. So officially a 1-yard loss on the play. Time has been stopped with 10:45 remaining in the second quarter. And they do have a swap of the official ball here. Now they've moved the marker up, so it looks like to be more of a 2nd and 10 back at the original line of scrimmage. Good job of team tackling that time by the Bearcats. Looks like having to come out of the game was Blessing Harris. Harris is being worked on by the training staff as we have whistles here. I don't see a flag down. Actually, they snapped the ball while the padding had not been adjusted here. So they'll just reset here, 2nd down.
I'm shocked to see that the Roughnecks haven't really tried to add a little bit of runs in there. They've mainly gone to the pass game, and you would think as they've drawn closer, they would try to at least feed the ball a little bit on the ground.
Yeah, it's a good point, Akeem. They really haven't gone to the run much, and we haven't seen Spain with the ball in his hands running the ball either. And again, we have Blessing Harris on the sideline being worked on by the training crew. He was involved in that last catch and tackle. So the Roughnecks are down one of their wideouts. Spain with now 2 in the backfield with him, Bird and Davis. They're in there to block.
Oh.
And Spain gets away from one. Couldn't get the sideline as Keemon Coleman finished him off.
Big hit by Coleman. Helmet came off of Spain. Yeah, they mean business, the Bearcats. They're not going to go for just a Spain coming out of the pocket looking to run.
Yeah.
That was interesting to see. And I just said they didn't mix it up with runs, but got them going out there, but couldn't really make much of it.
Yeah, we'll take another look at it real quick before this next play. And it looked like Spain was going to look for that sideline, but cut it back up inside because he was afraid he was going to go out of bounds. There it is, the cut back up, but Coleman was waiting for him with open arms. 3rd down and a little bit more than 10.
It looks like we might even have a little holding on 22 there when he had 10 moving up the field, but refs didn't see that one. So
3rd and 10 here. Spain, there is a flag down. Free play for the Roughnecks. Spain knows it. Looks back in the end zone and elevating and making the catch was kicker. And that's going to count because they let that play go. I believe the Bearcats were offside. It is declined. We have a tie ball game.
And just like that, the
yard line where the Bearcats will take over. There is a flag down. I don't see it where it was put down, but.
And it's interesting, as you were saying, going back to week 1, Dave, where Spain was really getting put on the ground. He got hurt, was taken out for a series, but it seems like right now, when they've scored, his team has managed to keep them upright and make sure they score. But how are the Bearcats going to respond? Looks like Rodriguez is back out there. He knows it's game time. It's business.
Yep.
They've scored on their last 2 drives. Can they go 3 for 3?
It's really hard to take him out of the game when he has 2 40-plus yard touchdown passes. But the Bearcats were victimized by a holding penalty on that last play, so they're going to have the ball inside of their own 10 to start.
Definitely don't want to mess up Rodriguez's continuity. Want to make sure the team stays focused and stays driven. And like I said, they've scored on the past 2 drives, so they know they can do it. They know they can move the ball.
So the Bearcats on their 3rd offensive drive, they've had touchdown passes of 47 and 41 yards in this game. And they'll have to go 40-plus on this drive to score again. In motion is Thomas. It's going to be the pitch to Adams, and Adams barreling over a couple of defenders. Well, enough for a 1st down and a little bit more as he gets to midfield.
He was steamrolling ahead, knocking defenders over like bowling pins. Nas Adams with the positive yardage.
And the Bearcats looking to go with a little bit of pace here.
And as you were saying before, Dave, Nas Adams talked about wanting to go more north and south rather than east to west. And it's proven that if he's doing that, it works.
Absolutely. We'll bring you back to live action here. Great run that time. Just shy of midfield. Receivers in motion. Rodriguez back. Almost intercepted. And through the hands of Kyle Ward. Bearing that down on that one was Jaheim Wright. He was in the area to break things up.
Definitely. It seems like both teams have had shots at getting those interceptions. just can't manage to hang on. And that's good news for the Bearcats because they don't want to see their drive interrupted by a costly interception.
Yeah, it's one thing about the Roughnecks. They're sitting back in coverage and trying to break in on the ball underneath. They've had a couple of promising interceptions. Couldn't complete the play, but...
And with not much push up front, that's important that they, like you said, get back and try to maintain everything coming in front of them.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. 2nd down and 10, just inside the 25. Gets ready to reset here. Rodriguez in motion. They give it underneath once again to Adams. Adam cuts it up near the sideline and gets thrown out of bounds once again. That is enough for the first down.
And that's definitely the type of ball the Bearcats want to play. Oh, looks like we got a little skirmish.
Yeah, it came after the play. So now we'll see if they're going to add some yardage onto this one or if we're going to go back. We'll keep our eye on the official with the white hat.
Even though the Bearcats are moving the ball, Roughnecks are letting them know, we are here. You're not going to bully us. We came to play.
We do have a personal foul on the Bearcats and a personal foul on the Roughnecks, so they will offset. Now, it should be a first down at about the 15-yard line, if I'm not mistaken here, but it looks like they backed the Bearcats up a little bit, and we will have, I believe, an official timeout as well for the second quarter. And while we have this break, we want to remind you that the second quarter is all about fitness. Our contestants are doing their thing, and it's sponsored by the Infinite Athletic Training located in Piscataway, New Jersey. They're also part of our second quarter giveaway at Warananko, the Electrolyte Boost. Imagine hydration, but without the water. Get your performance back on track. Get boosted with the Electrolyte Boost. For samples, fundraising for your team, or to purchase packets, contact Jermaine Sanders, co-owner of the Bearcats, at 201-667-6374 or email at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com. Let's make sure we stay fit after all these great snacks at Warananko as well with Infinite Athletic Training, www.infiniteathletictraining.com. It's dressed like a Bearcat time on the field. The contestants are getting the jerseys, the pants, and then those big shoes, and they'll have to run to the end zone.
Definitely big shoes.
It's always a crowd favorite. Who's going to fall? That's the question. Can he stay upright? We have a winner. Once again, folks, we love that you're with us here on the PDF Sports Network, but Roselle, New Jersey is where you should be. Always a great time here at Jersey Bearcats home games. See our cameraman, Pat Gialorenzo, asking for a T-shirt. Just wide on that one. 3:57 remaining in the first half. The Bearcats are going to have a 1st and 10 at the Roughnecks 14-yard line when we come back to action. In a 14-14 game. It's been a good one.
Definitely been a good one. And I know the Bearcats want to come out here and score before they go into halftime.
Yeah, of course, the Bearcats, they scored on the final play of the first half. The last time these two teams played, ended up taking a 2-point lead into halftime. That was a huge play for them. But it's something you got to think about, too, here. If you're Coach Roque and the Bearcats, how much time are you going to leave on the clock for the Roughnecks, whether you score or not?
You definitely don't want to leave any time on the board for the Roughnecks. You want to sit there and take up as much time as possible and get right into the half with the score.
Rodriguez with 2 in motion. The fake inside. Rodriguez was taking it himself, but the Roughnecks were not fooled.
All over that.
First one in there was Antoine Pierce and finished off by Timms.
And we definitely talked about Rodriguez not actually running the ball throughout the first quarter and even early in the second. And there he takes his shot, but the Roughnecks seen it coming.
Yeah, so a loss of 1 on the play makes it 2nd and 11. And that's, I believe, the first negative play for the Bearcats, I think, in this game.
Yeah, I think so. Interesting part, we've not seen, even though with that run package, we've not seen an appearance from Chris Colo. I wonder if Coach Roque wants to maintain the dominance that Rodriguez has had so far.
This time it is Ward in motion, and the pitch goes to Adams. Adams makes Davis miss, but can't get by Antoine Pierce, but not before he got about 3 or 4 yards on the play. Shrinks the down and distance to about a 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Even though the Bearcats have scored on 2 pass plays, it's been Nas Adams really getting in there and making some things happen for them. Let's see if they continue to feed him the ball.
So 2 plays here to get 6+ yards on this one. The clock continues to run. We are at 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. It's been a good one. There have been no defensive stops in this game. There have been 4 offensive possessions and 4 scores. The Bearcats are looking to hold serve. It is Adams in the backfield to Rodriguez's right. They line up heavy on the left. In motion is Thomas, and the give is to him underneath. Thomas takes the angle, squares up, and is close to the goal line. Is he in? Touchdown!
He's in! Wow, look at the speed from Thomas around that corner. Fights for the extra yards at the end, and what a score. And Bearcats are back up on the board.
Well, they did it with the run game, and they didn't get away from it after they had the 1-yard loss. They went right back to the run 2 plays in a row, and you could see the motion here by Thomas coming across. It is indeed a handoff.
So deadly. Oh, wow.
And the key was making that first guy miss, and then, of course, getting small there was Javon Thomas, and with that extension at the end, is able to score in for 6. It's 20-14 with Storego on to kick the 1-point conversion. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And we have a 7-point game again. The Bearcats are up for the 3rd time.
Definitely score for a 3rd time, but I'm curious to see with the amount of time remaining, can the Roughnecks get back on the board going into the half?
Yeah,
it's taken them a little bit more time to get their offensive flowing and get downfield, so I don't know, but definitely the Bearcats are feeling confident.
So there's 1:07 remaining in the first half. Now the clock will stop automatically with 1 minute to go, and then it will stop on every dead ball from there. The Roughnecks, by our count, still have all 3 of their timeouts left, so they certainly have the time here, Akeem, to go the length of the field with all the stoppages that will come up. And this is a huge drive in the game. The Roughnecks do get the ball first in the second half, so keep that in mind too. If they're able to score here and then get the ball back first in the second half, they'll be in prime position.
Definitely prime position if they're able to score here, and as you said, when they get the ball back going into the second half.
Storego to get into this one. He's kicked a couple of line drivers to this point. We do have a whistle here, and perhaps we were not, it's a false start on the Bearcats. And I believe the penalty will be enforced at the end of the kick because you can't back them up any more than what they are.
No, this has already just been biting them in their butts, having the fact of these penalties costing them precious yardage. And with those penalties, you give teams like the Roughnecks a chance to stay in the game.
Yeah, so wherever they get the ball here, it'll be a +5 after that penalty. Something to keep in mind as well. And it looked like Storego was looking to get his full leg into this one. He's kicked a few short. Akeem looks like he wanted to get this one all the way down.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to get deep.
That would make the most sense here, and it is deep. End over end. It is settled down by Singleton. Singleton very dangerous, bounces off one, and is chopped up at the 20-yard line. He does get up.
Big hit by the Bearcats, but he does get up, and we have a flag.
Oh, we have a flag as getting into it after the play was O'Day and Clark.
Tempers are starting to flare with these two teams.
That's a big foul if it's only against the Bearcats, because that'll put the ball immediately on their side of the field. Let's get another replay of that, see if we can see what happens at the end. See if we can pick up what happens here at the end of this play. There's the chop. You can see Bird locked up with a player. And down here, yeah, we just picked it up.
And that's just the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
You got to be able to pull away. You got to know what's at stake here, and that's winning the game, not winning a petty skirmish. And
while we saw the replay, Akeem, we learned that the penalties were offsetting, so one on each team. And the ball is spotted at the 20. I thought that they would move the football 5 yards up because of that penalty on the kickoff. Maybe they forgot about it, I'm not sure, but the ball's at the 20-yard line of the Roughnecks. Still very good field position to start.
With a minute left here.
Yeah, that is the 1 minute warning, so there is only 1 minute to go here. We'll keep you posted on the time as much as possible inside this last minute. But the clock will stop if they do go out of bounds, if there's an incomplete pass from here. Now in the backfield is Singleton. He comes out. Minimal pressure here. Spain able to step up in the middle of the field, and taken down hard was Samuel Atkinson.
Big hit by Javon Taylor, bringing, and matter of fact, he laid the wood on that hit.
Yeah, we'll get to see that one again. And we'll get to see Taylor take down Atkinson. And again, that pass was a little bit elevated, so Atkinson had to go high to get it and had to pay the price. It's one of those that you know you're going to get hit when you make the catch. Up.
Javon Taylor, Sean Taylor, no relation, but definitely reminded me of him with that hit.
That clock should have stopped. They didn't stop the clock. Inside of a minute, should stop on every dead ball after the incomplete. Clock is down to 30 seconds and counting. Roughnecks are running out of time. Spain, a lot of time. Middle of the field, intercepted. And going the other way with it is Turner. Turner taken down from behind at the 20, and the Bearcats will have the ball back with 21.3 seconds to go.
A few drops at chances at picks from both teams, but it looks like the Bearcats are the first ones on the board with their first pick. And it just,
I don't know if that was just a misread by Spain on the play, but Turner was just sitting out there in that zone, and that pass went right to him.
Yeah, he was all over that one. And now with 21.3 seconds left, it looks like the Bearcats could score again. And even with the Roughnecks getting the ball back, they're going in, coming out of the half, down.
Yeah, 21.3 seconds to go. The Bearcats have 2 timeouts remaining. And remember, the clock should stop on incompletions. The clock did not stop on an incomplete pass the last time there was one, so keep that in mind here. Rodriguez remains in at quarterback for the Bearcats. He's got 2 touchdown passes in this half. In motion is Ward. Low snap, Rodriguez collects to Ward near the sideline, and he's out of bounds. The clock never started that time. And
having some technical difficulties with the clock, but that did not stop Ward from getting that pass and bringing them downfield.
And we do have some whistles here. I'm not sure if there was a flag down or what. Either way, Ward went out of bounds. So the clock would have stopped anyway, but it never started. And they are going to rule a first down on the Bearcats. Should mention that between the music and the public address, Akeem, we can't hear a thing.
Oh, no.
I could barely hear myself in my headphones. I know our engineer, Alex, has had a hard time hearing us as well. It is so loud in this building, but it's almost impossible for us to figure out what's going on the field. And we do have a personal foul on both teams again. And the ball is going to be spotted. It's offsetting penalties. And it's going to negate the play. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 again. They'll redo the down. Now,
interestingly enough, there was no time taken off the clock with that one.
No time taken off. And the penalties, I thought, happened after the play, which means that the play probably should have stood. Instead, they backed it up to the 20-yard line again, so it negated the entirety of the play. So I guess it's a good thing that the clock never started.
Feels like a great thing for the Roughnecks.
There was no play.
Let's see maybe if they can kind of get a turnover. That way they're not going down by a lot into the half.
It is 2nd down, so I guess the first play did count. Actually, yeah, okay. I'm just getting screened here. 2nd down and 10. Ward was in motion. They look in the flat to Simmons. Simmons working towards the sideline and is out there. Pushed out of bounds by Bird with 14.9 to go.
Looks like
Yep, go ahead.
Looks like Rodriguez just wanted to get out there quick so they can pick up some yards and hopefully try to score in this next play.
Well, let's see if they advance the sticks here, because that ball is right on the 10. Was it enough for the 1st down? We haven't gotten an official ruling yet. It's going to be 3rd down. So 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Result of the play is 3rd down, Bearcats. 3rd down.
All right, 3rd down and a little less than 1. The Bearcats, 14.9 seconds to go. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Ward is to the left. He'll likely be in motion. There he goes. Low snap. Rodriguez, middle of the field.
Oh!
Intercepted. And he's down in the end zone. At least whistles put him down.
Oh.
Cameron got rocked.
Yeah.
And now.
Oh, now
exceptions are being taken here. Plenty of flags out. And now cooler heads need to prevail.
Definitely don't want to see this thing get ugly. Looks like it's getting pretty tense after that pick.
Now, we got the full replay up until the interception, at least at the beginning, and we'll get to see it. Let's slow it down, and we'll see what came of it. There's the interception. Now, I thought that they whistled it. Hold on. All right, so I thought they whistled him down there.
Yeah, it looks like they did.
They let the play go, and
what a hit by Rodriguez. It looked like Rodriguez kind of let his anger get the best of him.
Yeah, Rodriguez definitely got in there late, but also number 18, Gavin Bunt, came in a little bit late for the Roughnecks as well. Now, at the end of all of this, there were 11.3 seconds to go, as we got to see the aftermath of that as well. The officials and the coaches will get to see that replay at the end of this game if they want to instill some discipline. Let's roll that one more time, Alex, again, if you don't mind.
And we've kind of seen some small spots throughout this game where the Bearcats have basically let themselves get pulled in by emotions and make some costly mistakes.
So we know that the ball should have been dead there. The Roughnecks will have possession. But let's see at the end here, number 18 coming in. Let's see. Yeah, that's unnecessary too.
Yeah.
He takes down Rodriguez.
And Rodriguez, yes.
So let's see again, number 18, Bunt, coming in. Now here's Rodriguez pushing him out. Ball's out there. Now watch 18, Bunt. There's the slam to the ground. So that penalty should be on Bunt, and then Rodriguez, of course, shouldn't retaliate the way he did, but he did.
Looks like Bunt wanted to kind of rough up the Bearcats quarterback, Rodriguez, there, and unfortunately both teams got into it because of that.
And now we will have to see what the results of all of this is. Jersey rivalry, and it's playing out in full display.
It's definitely turning into a slugfest. Hopefully, with at least 11.3 seconds, just maybe the Roughnecks can right their wrong with that first pick and possibly score and tie this thing up.
Yeah, well, we said there's plenty of time left when there was 1 minute to go, and we're about to see our third possession inside of a minute.
And everything is just coming at us so fast. And both teams struggled to kind of basically secure the ball on almost picks, but we've had two almost back-to-back picks all before the second quarter even ended.
Yeah. So a couple of turnovers, one for each team. It looks like the ball is going to be backed up. It will be Roughnecks ball, there's no question. I think that might be Rodriguez's first interception of the season. 11.3 to go. They haven't come to the booth yet with any sort of trying to get the public address. Yeah, so just a personal foul whistled against lights are on. Maybe my lights are on. We'll have to check that at halftime. 11.3 to go. Here we go. Possibly the last play.
Yeah.
Spain on the run, dumps it up into the middle of the field and taken down inside the 15 with
we got
3
a timeout.
seconds left. Dustin Singleton was the one who made the catch, and it looks like we're going to have one play to go. I think that might be my car that has its lights on. I think that's my license plate. We'll check that at halftime. All right, so here we go. Possibly the last play, barring a defensive penalty and a timeout called in between. Singleton is in the backfield with Spain. He gets some instructions. The ball's at the 12-yard line. Spain with room into the end zone. It's broken up. A nice play by Barry Turner.
Definitely
keeps
nice.
it a 7-point game.
And if you look on the replay, it looked like Spain had kicker open, but just couldn't see him.
So that will bring us indeed to halftime here with the score, the Bearcats 21 and the Roughnecks 14. There were 5 scoring drives. They were the first 5 drives of the game, and then the final 3 drives of the game come up empty, and that's where we are. Akeem, we will take a break here, listen to the full breadth of our sponsors. I'll go check my car, and when we come back, we'll have Cameron Williams. Actually, we might go downstairs now to Cameron, who's with AJ Roque. All right, Cameron, down to you.
Here, Coach AJ. Coach AJ, you guys are up 24-14 after the first half here. Very chippy game thus far. How are you looking to control your guys the rest of the game here?
We literally told them the next person that gets a stupid penalty is just drop their stuff and leave, and they won't be here no more. This is all stupid. Stupid penalties lead to points, and it's exactly what this is. We're not like this.
You mentioned penalties, and it's come to affect you guys with some minus yardage and allowing the Roughnecks to get some more plays in. How do you look to overcome that? Is it just the stupid controversy and fighting, or is it sudden plays and sudden shifts in the lineup that you guys need to change?
No, they're in our head. That's all it is. Oh, he hit me. Oh, he did this, so I'm going to retaliate. It's football. It's a physical sport. Let's be grown-ups and walk away.
A couple big plays from Mateo Rodriguez and Todd Simmons Jr. Do you expect that correlation to keep going throughout the game? The run game with Nas Adams has kind of been shut down by the Roughnecks thus far. How do you look to continue to play in the offensive scheme?
Just continue doing what we do and not getting in our own way like we're doing right now.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck the rest of the game.
Thank you, sir.
Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Great job. And strong words from head coach AJ Roque. He did not like these penalties at the end there, and they did hold, though. They got the interception and the pass breakup at the end there, and so they do have the halftime lead. What we will do now is step aside, take a break. We'll go to the full ad break, and when we come back, we'll hear from our Lady Bearcats, who were with Cameron earlier in the game, and Akeem and I will break down the first half of play. Once again, your halftime score, Jersey Bearcats 21, the New Jersey Roughnecks 14. This is AAL2 football on the PDF Sports Network.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann. Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at TotalPerformanceBodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email daveriemann@rcn.com.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089232694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
KKT InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star just like the Bearcats.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 Arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AOL2 football.
right, we are back here live from Waranenko, where we are at halftime and where we have Cameron Williams, who prior to the game met up with two members of our Lady Bearcats team. He's downstairs with Gianna now. Let's take it away.
Hey guys, I'm here with Gianna from the Jersey Bearcats dancing team. Gianna, going into each week, what is the preparation like for your dancing and cheerleading?
Oh, so we have 2 practices. We always practice on Sundays and Tuesdays. Tuesdays, we're always staying late, and it's right here at the stadium, and it's usually until 10:30. But usually I'll wake up. I might go to the gym if I'm not feeling too lazy or too tired from practice. I usually have some eggs before breakfast. I have a lot of electrolytes just so we're, keeping hydrated and everything like that.
Awesome. What has been your favorite dance move or kind of dance special so far this season?
Oh, can I show it to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's from my dance that I actually just choreographed for this game. So it goes like this: just hip hip, hip hip, and then we roll around.
Awesome, love it. How many years have you been how many years have you been in cheerleading and dancing?
So I actually cheered for the first time Pop Warner when I was little, like 8, 9, 10. And then in high school I did cheerleading, but I actually been dancing since I was 3. Competition, regular classes, and this is actually my first year on the Bearcats, so I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Gianna. Back to Dave and Akeem in the booth.
All right, great job, Cameron, with Gianna. All the best to her. We got to see a few of her moves as well. Great job there. Cameron also met with Brittany, one of the team coordinators and game day operations staff. So let's throw it back down to Cameron, who's with Brittany.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Brittany, game day operator and coordinator for the Jersey Bearcats cheerleading and dance team. Brittany, how has the season been with the Bearcats thus far?
Awesome. This is my first season. We have the greatest group of girls ever, the most hardworking, dedicated girls. We're so excited to get on the field today and show you guys what we've got.
What's been your favorite week thus far doing your dances? Do you guys change the dances every week or change cheers? How does that go into it?
Yeah, so we all take turns. Mostly it's our captains that are coordinating for us. We have a lot of rookies this year that are great choreographers, so they've taught us a little bit too. You'll see a couple of those dances that today at the game that are brand new. But yeah, every week is something different. So we bring it every single week, and we really push ourselves to our fullest limit.
Yeah, awesome. And how do surrounding dancers and cheerleaders go in, and how do they get involved with the Jersey Bearcats and possibly become a part of the team?
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram at Lady Bearcats. We love new and fresh talent. So even though we're in the middle of our season this year, we're always looking for, new dancers, new opportunities. So definitely send us a DM on Instagram and get involved with us.
Thank you very much, Brittany. Yeah. Back to Dave and Akeem in the booth.
All right, great job, Cameron, and great job, Brittany. Lots of good information there. While we have this extended break, the mothers of our players are being honored here as we are on the eve of Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you folks. And, of course, the Bearcats are honoring their moms as well. And while we have this little break, we'll let you know that we have a lot of things going on in the PDF Sports Network as far as talk shows and podcasts. Every Sunday morning, including tomorrow morning, you can wake up to Way Too Early with Pat Bleasy, a.k.a. Coach Dave Patterson. Breaks things down in the world of semi-pro football here in the region. That's live on Facebook on Sunday mornings, and then we will carry that usually around 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's every Sunday. Every Wednesday evening, the You Know I'm Right podcast, the award-winning You Know I'm Right, with with host Nick Durst and Joe Calabrese. That's Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. And then Thursdays and Fridays, it's all about the AAL2 and the Jersey Bearcats. On Thursdays at 7, catch AAL2 Turf Talk live on the PDF Sports Network at 7 p.m. And then on Friday, Bearcats Blitz, all about the Jersey Bearcats. That's Friday at 7 p.m. Also live on PDF. Thursdays and Fridays show are presented to you by our friends at the Shady Sports Network. So we thank our friends at Shady Sports for all of that. So that is our lineup throughout the week. And here in Waranenko, as they honor the moms, Akeem, I welcome you back here. A very eventful first half, back and forth the entire way. both teams had leads, and the Bearcats with a very critical stop to take a 7-point lead into the locker room.
It definitely was a back and forth affair, and I was just shocked to see that the Bearcats, who were close to going up by 14 with a costly interception, but saved themselves from this being a tie game by basically getting a stop of their own at the end of the second.
Absolutely. They'll get together for some photographs here at midfield, and then we'll get our second half started. Our teams have made their way out. And, you heard Coach A.J. Roquet say, Akeem, they need to clean things up. They need to stay disciplined. But what are some of your keys here for the Bearcats in half number 2?
I think in terms of half number 2, the Bearcats need to remain focused. And when they came out during the first series and they scored on that second play, they seemed motivated. They seemed disciplined. They seemed ready to take this fight to the Roughnecks. And it seemed as the game kind of went into the second, things got a little chippy. A couple of miscues by the Bearcats, and it allowed them to unravel, especially with Rodriguez throwing a pick towards the end of the second. But I feel going into the third, especially after Coach Roquet had that little interview with our silent reporter, Cameron Williams, he's got his team motivated. Hopefully, I know he's got his team disciplined, and then can come out and basically turn the tide. Because as we know, the Roughnecks will be receiving the ball at the start of the third.
Yep, and as far as the Roughnecks, Akeem, they played a pretty solid half of football. Of course, you don't like the interception that they threw, and then, of course, they came up just a little bit short on that last drive. But otherwise, they did a really good job in that first half, but still, they're down on the scoreboard. How do they reverse it here in the second?
I think the biggest thing is just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you didn't have the chance to connect on the last play of the second quarter, but you have to like what you've been doing so far. It's only a 7-point game, and you getting the ball back, you have a chance to go down there and score. Hopefully, with going into this half, Spain has basically locked in and ready to show them what he can do.
All right, so both teams are getting the final preparations set here in this one. While we have a couple of extra minutes, we'll let you know that our next Bearcats game here on the PDF Sports Network will be 3 weeks from tonight. We'll be back here on Saturday, May 31st, where the Jersey Bearcats will play host to the Pittsburgh Outlaws. That start time, the usual start time, 6 p.m. We'll have the pregame show at 5:40 for you on that one. And then at some point tomorrow, we will have the Tri-State Warriors, women's professional football. That game has been recorded tonight. It was the Tri-State Warriors taking on the Virginia Panthers. And then we will have the broadcast for you tomorrow of that game, appropriately on Mother's Day. A lot of mothers on the Warriors team that is 1-0 so far this season. They won on the road last week, and the Panthers are 1-1. A big test for the Warriors in that game, because the Warriors play at the Division III level of women's pro. The Virginia Panthers are a Division II team. So Warriors playing a little bit above them in the divisions, hoping to score a big win here tonight.
Well, I always say you'd rather punch above your weight class than below it. Right. That's only going to make you better.
Right. All right, we're going to go downstairs once again to Cameron Williams. Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, guys, real quick here. We're at halftime. Bearcats up 21-14. From what I'm hearing from Coach K is that we got a couple injuries with the Bearcats right now. We don't know what players, but a couple players are banged up and will be a bench. They're looking to keep it on the down low for now, but we do have a couple guys injured for the Bearcats. We'll see how they overcome it. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Great job downstairs. Cameron giving us the inside scoop. So we'll have to, by process of elimination, kind of figure out who he's referring to. But
and definitely that's not great news for the Bearcats, getting a couple of their guys banged up, because you really want to maintain your lead with the second half, because I know the Roughnecks feel pretty confident coming back out that they can get the job done and keep pushing the Bearcats, hopefully push the Bearcats to a point where they may give up. But I know Coach A.J. Roquet is going to make sure his team does not lose the battle of wills here tonight.
All right, they'll have to go on defense first in this half. 15 minutes have been put back on the clock. We are getting set for our third quarter of action. The Bearcats had a 2-point lead at halftime the last time these two teams played. 7-point lead here in the locker room in this one. Down with a couple of injuries. This is a team that lost a big player by the name of Aaron Brown. Scored a couple touchdowns in the first game between these two teams. We lost him with a season-ending injury week 2. Brown played on both sides of the ball. He was a running back and a defensive lineman. That was a big loss for them. So they've been nicked up a little bit this season.
Definitely becomes a war of attrition. You hate to lose guys that can play both sides of the ball, but any confident team, any seasoned team knows it's just the sad cost of the game, but you keep going.
Yep, next man up. Sorrego gets into this one. It is muffed and picked back up by Singleton. Singleton dips out of a tackle and now gets held up at the sidelines just inside the 20. And now we have flags coming out again.
Looks like we have a man down.
In the direction of Javon Thomas getting locked up.
Looks like Coleman got banged up a little bit there.
Yeah, now Coleman gets up gingerly, as you pointed out. Amir Bird lost his helmet on the play. That's where the flags came in on. And we'll see what the calls are here. We'll pick this one up into the return here by Singleton, and we'll see if we can keep our eye on what happens to Coleman there and then up the field. Yep. Guys battling there. Face mask is held, and we'll get an official ruling here. One thing about the Roughnecks is they've had really good starting field position in this game, and if this one is only on the Bearcats, they're going to be in Bearcats territory. Here it is again. So just the tackle part. All good. So it looks like the penalties again were offsetting. Oh, maybe not. They're moving up. They moved it up 10 yards. So it was a foul on the Bearcats.
Little disappointing, especially after our sideline reporter Cam had just had a conversation with Coach Roque about guys getting into costly penalties.
Yep. And that was Javon Thomas who got into it. So we'll see what happens with Javon. Meanwhile, the Bearcats on their own side of the field have to try and get a stop here. The give is to Davis. Davis bounces out. Ball's out. Ball is out. Both teams are on top of it. Let's see.
We got a pile on. Let's see who is at the bottom of the pile with the ball.
Both teams are saying it's theirs. The Bearcats are jumping up.
No whistle.
No official ruling yet. Turnover. Bearcats ball.
Wow. Wow. And just like that, the Bearcats already come up with a turnover.
So that's the second turnover of the game for the Roughnecks.
And I definitely think this is what Coach Ja wanted to see. He wanted to see his team show that grit and keep their foot on the necks of the Roughnecks, no pun intended.
And it will be Rodriguez continuing to take the snaps for the Bearcats. We've seen both quarterbacks in every game this season, but we have not seen Chris Gulo in this one. And I would not be surprised here, Akeem, if they take a shot at the end zone here and try to stick the knife in a little further, up by a score, looking for more. They go heavy here on the near side. 2 in motion. Rodriguez high snap, pitches it over to Adams. Adams wants to double back the other way. Big hit by Rodriguez on Davis. Adams gets held up for no gain. And
another flag. Wow.
Wow, just about every play now.
It seems like these guys just can't let it go. And unfortunately,
that was on Adams. I want to get to see what Adams did.
Looks like he tossed the ball back, Dave, at one of the Roughneck players. And as I've always heard when it comes to refs, it's not about the first man, it's about the second man.
So keep your eye on Nas Adams. Obviously, he's the ball carrier, so we'll see what happens after the play. There's the would-be hit in the backfield, but he gets sandwiched. We'll keep our eye on him here. And he flips the ball at the Roughnecks player. Flipped it back. You know, it seems innocuous, but you really can't do that.
No, you can't.
You got to just put the ball down and get back in your huddle.
And shockingly enough, it seemed like when Adams was going and got the ball, he was doing the little east and west rather than the north to south we've seen in the first half, and didn't properly get the amount of yards I knew he wanted on that play.
It'll be a 2nd down and 18 coming up after the penalty, because it was enforced at the end of the play. Chippy game has gotten a little chippier here in these first couple of plays of the second half. We'll see if things tighten up and calm down. That ball goes through the hands of Kyle Ward, who was trying to double back to the ball. And it's a 3rd and long. Well, that's a play, Akeem. You're just trying to get 5, 6, 7 yards to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. And now the Bearcats are in a hole here, 3rd and long.
Yeah, definitely just didn't work out for them on that play. And as we said, this is for state bragging rights, so we could expect it to be having tensions running high. But I know the Bearcats don't want to continue to have these penalties haunt them, so they want to get their offense moving along.
So on 3rd down and 18, let's see what they dial up here. Do they go for the home run? Do they try to cut the yards to go in half? Let's see. Big drive in the game, a chance to go up by 2 scores. Rodriguez looking near side, wants to opt out. Now looking opposite side, intercepted again. That's the 2nd pick. We have a flag down in the middle of the field and taking it just about all the way, a little bit short.
Oh, no.
Oh, and now we have coaches and personnel getting into it. And we're going to have an ejection coming up here.
No word from the ref yet, or was that a score or not?
Well,
we definitely saw that.
I think he was a little bit short. But we're going to see here what happens. Now, I did see the sign for someone getting ejected come out. Second pick of the game for Doggett. And it is Rodriguez again. Rodriguez with the personal foul. He's going to get ejected from the game. And again, he retaliates on the. We're going to watch that one more time, Alex. We'll slow it down just a little bit, and we'll just watch the return if we can. So yep. That's okay. Let's fast forward a little bit here. All right. So here's where we want to keep our eye on what happens right in front of the coaches. Now, look at the coaching cluster on the top of your screen. There's number 7 on 7, big hit. That's a legal hit. And then here's the shove, and then watch Rodriguez.
Yeah, looks like the little extra shove frustrated Rodriguez, and he couldn't just contain himself.
Now, on the return, there was a holding call on the Roughnecks. And then we're going to get the aftermath of all that other stuff. A personal foul, and Rodriguez has been thrown out of the game.
Wow.
So the ball is going to be placed at exactly midfield. The Bearcats now have 2 turnovers in the game. It's a 1st and 10 for the Roughnecks.
And it looks like some aspect of the game plan for the Roughnecks has been mental warfare, a little Sun Tzu getting into the minds of their opponent, and unfortunately it cost Chris Rodriguez the rest of the game.
Yeah, and it's very uncharacteristic of this team, Akeem. They are just not in themselves at this point. And after all of that, they still have a 7-point lead. And both teams have turned the ball over here in the first 5 minutes of this half. Outside, the catch made by Kicker, and he is taken out of play. Minimal yardage on the play, about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. And a good tackle by Price to get him out.
But if you're the Roughnecks, you got to be happy about the position you're in. Now their starting QB is out. You got the ball with a chance to tie the game. Let's see what they can do with it as they just delivered that pass to Kicker. Not much on it, but enough for some positive yardage.
Yep. We've had 10 possessions in this game, 5 for each team, Akeem. The first 5 possessions, all touchdowns. The last 5 possessions, 4 turnovers and 1 turnover on that end of the half, really. But it's amazing how this game has just completely shifted.
Indeed, it went from an offensive output to defensive stall.
And just mistakes and penalties and turnovers, just uncharacteristic. 2nd down and 6. A little over 9 minutes to go here, 3rd quarter. In motion is Atkinson. They look middle of the field. Spain steps up.
Ooh!
By Garner. And that's the first sack of the game for either team. We have a timeout on the field. It'll be third down and about 9.
And that's not what Spain wanted to see, because he recalls from that Week 1 matchup, they were getting him on the ground. So good work by the Bearcats defense right there to get to Spain.
So I believe we're going to have our third quarter television timeout here. I think. Once that gets sorted out, we'll have our third quarter timeout. Unless they're going to start again, I just don't know what they're doing here. So let's see. Are they going to continue play, or will there be a TV timeout? There is going to be. What are they doing? They're going to be a timeout. So we'll step aside here to recognize one of our sponsors. With this break in the action, we have champions running out onto the field to participate in this timeout. And champions deserve championship rings. Zolnir Championship Rings are the official ring provider of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. See the incredible selection and touch of class at Zolnir. Visit us at zchampionship.rings.com and see our competitive pricing, exceptional customer service, and free quotes always. Zolnir Championship Rings. Give Director of Sales Joseph Khalil a call at 1-800-303-8548. Zolnir is the official ring provider of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. So we have our competitors doing some exercises and seeing who gets done first.
Can never go wrong with a little bit of calisthenics, Dave.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they'll get a championship ring at the result of this one, but they'll get some free gifts courtesy of the Jersey Bearcats.
A workout on some merch does not sound like a bad deal to me.
Yep, and of course, great atmosphere here as always at Waranenko. And Akeem, I did realize it were my lights that were on during halftime, so it was a good thing I busted out there. But Pat Fleming, one of our friends who's here, is going to give me a jump after the game because my car battery is dead as well. So I'm grateful they made that announcement.
Yes, definitely grateful they made that announcement.
And thank you to our friends once again at Zolnir Championship Rings for sponsoring our third quarter. And when we come back here, third down and 9, after the big sack of Kenyan Spain, they'll have to dial up something here. Roughnecks have been very good on fourth down in this game, but Bearcats have done a nice job on third down, getting the Roughnecks off the field. Let's see what they can do here. The Bearcats have been rushing primarily 2 most of the game. Let's see if they come with 3 this time. 2 in motion. They do rush 3. Here comes a 4th. Coleman putting pressure. That pass down the field. And not timing it
Javon Taylor.
Was Taylor.
He could have had the pick, but I guess he second-guessed himself and just swatted it down.
He elevated a little bit too
and you
quickly.
can see him telling his teammates that's on him, but at the end of the day, still stops the Roughnecks from getting any yardage.
Yeah, 4th down and 9 will be coming up, but take a look. It looks like he has prime position to make this stab and just kind of elevated too quickly and then had to double back. Still a nice play, though.
Definitely a nice play. I guess it was probably on that turnaround. He probably just couldn't put his hands up at time, so he just swatted it down.
Another big moment in the game. 4th down and 9 coming up. The Roughnecks down by a score. Remember, they do not have a kicker in this game, too, so if they score the touchdown, they will look to take the lead with a 2-point conversion. We have 7.5 minutes to go.
And we did see them convert on 2 4th down tries in the first half, so let's see if they can do it again for the 3rd time.
Yep, on that first drive, they converted twice for a touchdown. 2 in motion again. Spain, good protection. Now here comes the penetration inside. They drift it, and it is incomplete. Well over the head of Bird, and the Bearcats will take over on downs.
And just like that, coming out, Coach Jaw's defense swarmed Spain, didn't allow them to go anywhere with that ball, and it's a turnover of downs, and the Bearcats are now back in position to go up by 14.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to the Bearcats defensive line on that drive. They got him for a sack. Willie Gardner it was a minimal loss, about 3 or 4 yards, but they got the sack on second down, and then a good pressure there in pursuit by number 99, Chris Rohn.
And this is our first appearance from Chris Colo. So interesting to see how the offensive changes now that they know Rodriguez is done for the night.
Chris Colo is our quarterback. He has Adams to his left, but this is his first snap of the game. He wheels one out quickly to Simmons.
Yeah,
Simmons,
he rifled that one out of there, Dave.
Absolutely. There's, two quarterbacks on this team, and they really have two different styles. Chris Colo is not really a rusher. He's more of a pure pocket passer. He does have the ability to get outside the tackles, but he's likes to get the ball out really quick. Will work a lot more on the periphery, and it's got a really good arm downfield as well.
And the Bearcats are definitely going to need that, especially since they had that consistency from the first half. Obviously, with the Rodriguez getting retired for the rest of the night, Chris Colo wants to ensure his guys remain in control.
2nd down and 5. Now 2 on the near side. Chris Colo again, almost immediately outside and held up on the sidelines. Minimal gain, about 2 yards on the play. Hezekiah Frazier makes his first catch of the game.
Hey, sometimes you just got to drop the ball off. You can't really go for the gusto. And I like kind of that mindset out of the Bearcats. Play conservative. You got the lead. No need to rush it.
Right, so 3rd down and 3.
And ultimately, you want your second quarterback to come out here, get some consistency. You want him to feel good and confident with his throw, so you don't want to throw him too much too early.
Yeah, exactly. Start building up that confidence right from scratch as if it's the first quarter. And a couple of big, high-percentage throws to start things off. 3rd down and 3 as the Bearcats have the ball in Roughnecks territory, inside the 20-yard line. First down markers at the 16. In motion they go. Chris Colo steps up in the pocket, has the first down, lowers a shoulder, and is put down at about the 15-yard line. That'll be enough to move the sticks.
Nice little scamper there from Chris Colo, showing he can kind of get it done on the legs too.
Yeah, he's sneaky like that. He's got really good pocket presence, I think, does Chris, and does a nice job of stepping up in the pocket and getting a really important first down there.
And sometimes you can just throw the defense off with just like being such a guy known to throw it from the pocket. You can kind of sneak in there and, get a few yards like he did there.
Looks like a timeout called by the Bearcats.
And with just 3 plays, everything has been positive yardage for the Bearcats. Got to be happy about that. They're drawing closer to that end zone. Let's see what they do here coming out 1st and 10.
Yeah, Coach Roque settling his players down, letting them get a beat here, and they're probably calling 2 or 3 plays in this huddle, I would think, Akeem. Maybe they want to work quickly here after this timeout. Maybe get Nas Adams back and involved as well. Now the Bearcats have a number 73 on the line of scrimmage. We do not have 73 on our roster for the Bearcats. But I'm wondering if that was one of the injuries on that line.
Might have been, Dave.
Yeah, process of elimination. The give is underneath to Adams. Adams dips forward, lowers his head, gets about 4 or 5 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
And they're methodically working their way down the field. I like it. Like you said, remaining poised, confident with each play. And sadly, the Roughnecks just can't seem to be doing anything to stop them.
Yeah, I don't see Kyle Ward in the game either for the Bearcats, so that could be the other injury there, as Manny Stewart, number 4, has checked into the game. He's the slot receiver right now for the Bearcats. Simmons is a big target. He's the one lined up here on the near side, right in the bottom of your screen. 2nd down and a long 5. In motion they go. Chris Colo stepping up in the pocket, delivering short. That was to Stewart. I believe that's his first catch of the game. He's about 2 or 3 yards shy of a first down.
I like what Chris Cole's been doing here. He has been playing very, very strategic, making sure he's putting the ball in his guys' hands, away from the defense. And this is no shade to Mateo Rodriguez, but it looks like with Chris Cole, they don't want to go too deep. They want to play it safe and just get the ball out to the open man and try to pick up some yards that way.
See what they do here on 3rd down and 3. A lot of options here at this area of the field. You still got Adams in the backfield as well. Crisculo's been able to step up in the pocket as well. Stewart is in motion going from right to left. Works the slot. Adams gets the carry, dips in. Looks like he's got enough for the first down, but got held up just inside the 5. We'll see if they give the first down signal here before we count on it. If it is a first down, it'll be a 1st and goal. And still no signal. And it is a first down. First down and goal. So the ball spotted at the 4-yard line. Crisculo with a pretty methodical drive here. We are inside of 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
And this is a stark contrast from what the Bearcats were doing in the first half, where they were scoring with immediate action, and now they've, like you said, been methodical, working their way down the field, and now they're in prime position to score.
Taking care of the ball. That's rule number 1 here from in close. 4 downs to get 4 yards. Adams lowers the shoulder, gets about a yard maybe. It'll be 2nd and goal coming up.
And a few plays with Adams running the ball, I like it. You basically want to test out that front line from the Roughnecks, and it doesn't seem that they can get Adams down in the backfield, so why not keep going to him?
Yeah, we're a long way away from it, Akeem, but the field goal is also on the table at this area of the field as well. If you don't get it and you're faced with a 4th down and goal, they do have that option to bring Storego onto the field to make it a 2-score game.
Yeah, because the Bearcats actually have a guy playing the position of kicker, not just name kicker.
Exactly. Right. 2nd down and goal from just outside the 3. Under 30 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Crisculo looking near side. Now goes across the way. Nice catch made. Touchdown. Hezekiah Frazier.
And just like that, the Bearcats have scored again.
And that's the element that Crisculo brings to the game as well, Akeem. He's able to dip out. He gets to the right side. He's able to throw across his body. Normally, that is a very dangerous pass to make, but only Frazier could have caught that, and Frazier made a nice grab.
Definitely great grab, but also great pass to Crisculo, who we all know was the offensive player of the week back in week 2, so he's showing he's got the gusto to get his team on the board.
All right, so they'll line up for the 1 to make it an even 14-point game. Snap is down, the hold is there, and the kick is good. Off the top facade and in. 28-14 is our score, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter as well. So the Roughnecks are up against it. They're down by 2 scores with only 15 minutes remaining. And we're going to throw it down to Cameron Williams.
Yeah, guys, big touchdown there to make it 28-14. From Coach AJ, though, we've heard a lot. You can see him visibly upset on the field throughout the game thus far. Mateo Rodriguez getting ejected on the first drive of the 2nd half. Big loss for them, but Chris comes in and they get a big touchdown there to end the 3rd quarter, guys. Bearcats are looking to pull away here, 28-14 here. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Cameron. We will hear again from Cameron at the end of the game with our player of the game and also a chat with Coach K to break things down. Lady Bearcats are back on the field, so we'll throw it down to them here for this break and let them perform. Lady Bearcats playing it up for the crowd here and getting our crowd energized for what should be a very good fourth quarter. And Akeem, one of the other big stats on this season, the Bearcats have not allowed points in the fourth quarter this season. They've pitched a complete shutout in every game so far.
I mean, they just had a scoreless third, so I definitely look for them to follow it up with the fourth.
Yeah, the Bearcats, they were tied 26-26 the first time these two teams played at the end of the third quarter. Ended up scoring 14 to win that game in the fourth. Since then, they really haven't allowed anything in the second half and fourth quarter of games. And the Roughnecks are really up against it here. They're going to need to score basically every time they touch the ball, and they're going to need a stop if they intend to give the ball back to the Bearcats.
Oh, yeah, definitely going to need to score. They had prime position to make this game a little bit more competitive in the third, but that Bearcats defense was relentless and just didn't let them go anywhere. And now we're at the start of the fourth, and they have to make something happen.
All right, so we'll get this one started in just a moment. Storego will get into this one. Strong kick. It ends up into the hands of Singleton, who's done a nice job today. At the 10, past midfield, still on his feet, and he is going to go just about all the way in. That was not Singleton, that was Jaheim Wright with the scamper.
Wow. And shockingly enough, it was actually Jaheim Wright who got into that little scuffle with Mateo Rodriguez. It looks like he shows his coaches, I'm not just the type of guy to ruffle the feathers, I'm the type of guy to make plays.
Yeah, we'll get another chance to see it on full display here. Storego does a nice job of getting into it, but it's a line driver. And look at the nice move and then the speed. A bad tackle there. And the Bearcats do a good job of at least tracking him and stopping him at the 1, but...
Oh, yes, definitely was worth saving them from scoring a touchdown.
And if you're a Roughnecks fan, this could not have been a bigger break. You get the ball back, down by 2 scores, and with the potential to score here with only a minute or so gone by. The give is underneath to Bird. Bird squaring up, and he is, do we get a call? Touchdown.
Yeah, he's in.
So a minute and a half comes off the clock. They'll go for 2 to try and come to within 6. And the Bearcats have allowed their first points of the fourth quarter this season.
And what a spark plug that initial return was to get them in perfect field position to be able to score.
We'll get another chance to see it. And we'll get you back to live action as soon as possible. This is a big 2-point conversion, as we'll cut away here to get you the 2-point conversion. Spain. Back to pass, flushed out to the left, looking at intercepted by Barry Turner. There is a flag down. It is in the offensive backfield. It's a hold against the Roughnecks. It will be declined, and it will remain an 8-point game.
And I just wonder, not actually having a kicker, did this really kind of hurt them? Because it would just be a 7-point game if they had just kicked the field goal rather than actually go for 2.
Yeah, you know, we say it a lot, Akeem. I mean, this special teams, they do rear their ugly heads in just about every game. And when you don't have a kicker, now you're up against it because now you're down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Otherwise, it's back to a 2-score game again.
Exactly, and they've struggled to kind of stop them. And I know Crisco is going to come out and try to repeat what they did back in that third.
Still, though, if you're the Roughnecks, that could not have gone any better.
Oh, definitely no. Couldn't have
Start the fourth quarter, and with 12:51 to go, you're able to score. Just 2 minutes come off the clock, and you almost know for sure you're going to get the ball back at some point. But now the onus is on your defense to get a big stop. Both teams getting situated here on the kickoff, and with 12:51 to go in the fourth, it's an 8-point game. Bearcats will likely get the ball back. Good kick there. It skips around. It ends up into the hands of Simmons. Simmons cuts in towards the middle of the field, gets walled up at about the 20. The ball came out very late, and they're going to whistle that Simmons was down. I believe that's the right call.
Now let's see if the Bearcats come out and kind of feed Nas Adams to kind of control the clock, not allowing the Roughnecks to get back in this game.
That's right. The Bearcats have done a really good job of running the football here tonight. And when they've needed to run the ball, they've run it pretty well. Let's see what they do here. Once again, Mateo Rodriguez, the starting quarterback in this game, played 2.5 quarters and then got ejected from the game on his second personal foul. Chris Culo came on the last drive, led the Bearcats on a touchdown drive, their first of the second half. And the Bearcats undoubtedly will take their time here on this drive as much as possible. 11:40 and counting to go. Remember, the clock will continue to be a running clock unless a timeout is called or a change of possession. Chris Culo now sends Stewart in motion. Looks down the field. There's the pump, and that one's blocked.
Wow.
Big mitt on it that time by Antoine Pierce.
Like you said, Dave, with that running clock, a pick probably would have been better, but I know they were glad to at least not let that ball get behind them.
Yep. Yeah, it looked like Chris Culo was trying to use the misdirection, the pump fake to the right, looking back in towards the middle of the field, but Pierce was not fooled by it.
No. And honestly, even with the change at quarterbacks, the Roughnecks still have not been able to penetrate and get to the quarterback, which has really kind of hurt them at certain key spots in this game.
Second down and 10:40 to go in the final quarter. Once again, it is Stewart in motion. Chris Culo back to pass the entire way. Middle of the field, and that one too far extended in the direction of Stewart. Chris Culo was under some pressure that time, but did a good job of getting rid of it. We'll get to see it one more time on replay. Not a bad ball considering the duress he was under. Take a look at the pressure coming in from that right side. Chris
And it looks
Culo,
like Tim's
yep,
really made it happen for them up the middle.
not a bad throw considering. Chris Culo off of his back foot. Third down and 10. Big play here for the Bearcats. Two in motion this time. Simmons and Stewart. They work it in the flat to Simmons. He gets about half the yardage he needs. Gets flattened out after a gain of about 5. Fourth down and 5 coming up. We'll actually call that a 4th and 7 because they only got the 3 yards on the play. So with 9:10 to go in the fourth, probably the biggest play of the game to this point for the Roughnecks. If they're able to hold here, they give the ball back to their offense, down by the full breadth of a touchdown. It'll be Simmons and Stewart once again that will be in motion. They'll come in on the far end of your screen. Frazier is in on the near side. Adams in there for protection. Chris Culo steps up. He's going to run, and it's going to be short. He is banged in hard at about the 25-yard line, but a turnover on downs for the Bearcats, and the Roughnecks will take over.
Wow, and just like that, the Roughnecks find themselves looking to get right back in this game with a 4 and out from the Bearcats.
So,
and it just seemed, Dave, that the Bearcats got away from that run game. I don't know what was going on. They didn't feed Nas Adams as much as they did back in the third quarter.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Akeem. I expected Adams to get at least a couple of carries on that drive. Instead, they went pass heavy, and they go 4 and out. So from just inside the 25 on the Roughnecks end of the field, the Roughnecks down by 8. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie. Both teams have scored here in the second half. Jersey playing very tight here at the line of scrimmage. Only one in motion. Spain looks out in the flat. The catch is made and off to the races on the sideline. Good play by Harris. He has the first down and a little bit more. So that ball will be spotted just outside the 10.
That definitely was a blessing for the Roughnecks. They're getting closer to being able to score.
Yeah, sorry, 15-yard gain on that play. Will look like a very simple pitch and catch. Spain now looking end zone, and they battle, and Barnes breaks it up. That was a lot of hand jockeying. There is a
looks
flag
like we got
down.
a flag. Coach John doesn't look too happy about it. Hold it. Oh.
Defensive holding.
And just like that, as we had seen, that gives the Roughnecks another chance at being able to get the ball back in the end zone.
So they'll probably move it here to the 6-yard line. It'll be a first down and 5 when we come back.
And as we saw in the first half from one of those scores by the Roughnecks, it was a Bearcats penalty that ultimately led to them scoring.
6 minutes and counting remaining. The Roughnecks looking to draw closer here. 6 yards away from the end zone. They could still get a first down without scoring. Spain pump fakes. Looks,
traffic.
Has plenty of time. Bounces out. End zone. That pass was
looked like Atkinson had it, but just couldn't bring it down.
Like Atkinson had to come back for the ball. And we'll see what happened there. I'm sure he would have loved to have made that catch.
Yeah. Kind of like my youth football coach used to tell me, Akeem, if you got your hands on the ball, you better bring it in.
Yep. Yeah, that's Atkinson working off of a little bit of a pick play, but he was wide open in the end zone. Yeah, that's a play you got to make. I do believe that's a play you got to make there. If you're Atkinson. He was just hanging out there near the goal line. Had to come back for the ball, but in any event, second down and 5. The first down marker's at the 1. So they do not need to score a touchdown here to get a first down. Clock now down to 5 minutes remaining. Singleton is in the backfield with Spain. The fake handoff, Spain looking, throwing, goal line, and flags everywhere.
Interesting to see who these.
Nick Price, probably the guilty party there, as he was involved with Gavin Bunt right at the goal line. And they're going to have a little bit of a discussion here.
And the thing about arena football, as you get closer to the end zone, things get a little bit more cramped. Guys got to do a little bit more maneuvering than they usually can. And sometimes
it's a pass interference against the Bearcats. So
back-to-back penalties on the Bearcats. And
all right, we have our fourth quarter timeout. So we'll have another timeout here. And while there is the timeout, we have reached the fourth quarter, and it's just about time to think about where we're going to eat after the game, and we know where the lucky winners of this next event are going. It's Applebee's of Linden. They are sponsoring a free dinner for 2 for every Jersey Bearcats home game this season. And with amazing drink specials and delicious food, it's where we all should be headed. Make sure to visit our friends at Applebee's of Linden, located at 671 West Edgar Road in Linden. With eat-in, car side to go, and delivery options, we've got the food covered. visit Applebee's and tell them the Jersey Bearcats sent you. So a fourth quarter television timeout or officials timeout gives us another, or it gives the Roughnecks a little bit more to think about here, as now, as a result of the penalty, you have a first down and I believe goal from the 3. And so a fresh 4 downs here to score. And the 2-point conversion is going to be huge because...
Oh, definitely. And
Yeah, go ahead.
No, if I was the Roughnecks here, I'd look back to what happened in the first quarter and give them an old dose of Shafon Davis right up the middle if I can, because you don't want to waste any more time looking to score, because you definitely want to get that 2-point conversion, because I feel if the Bearcats get the ball back and they still have the lead, it looks like it will be game over for the Roughnecks.
Right, because potentially if the Roughnecks do not make their 2-point conversion, it's still a 2-possession game. So they need to score this pretty quickly.
And I would just ask you so far, Dave, since you were there for that first game, has this second game lived up to the billing? Like, are you satisfied with how this has turned out?
Yeah, I think both teams have made their fair share of mistakes, and both teams could kick themselves for the turnovers and the penalties. But overall, this was hyped up to be a grudge match between two Jersey teams looking for bragging rights, and that's exactly what it's really lived up to. You could tell, every team makes the playoffs, Akeem. So in the grand scheme of things, does this game truly matter a lot? Maybe not, but it matters to these guys.
Oh, it definitely matters to these guys. They're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this. And even though every team makes a playoff, I would like to think just having that advantage of showing that you beat some tough teams gives you that confidence to say, hey, once the postseason starts, we can compete with anybody.
Right. Absolutely. And that being said, when it comes to the playoffs and stuff too, the top 2 teams in the East will host first-round games. So it's important for the Roughnecks to get that second seed at least, if not the first, so that they can get a first-round home game as well.
Oh, yes, definitely. You don't want to lose ground to the Stampede, who are right sitting there at 2-2, just like the Roughnecks.
All right, so here we go, back in action. First down and goal. Plenty on the table here for the Roughnecks. They go big in the backfield. The give is to Bird. Bird gets stood up by Price, and here comes the cavalry, and nothing doing for Amir Bird. Did well to keep the ball in his midsection, but they didn't get anything on that play.
No, definitely didn't get anything. I like the fact that they ran the ball, but maybe would have used different personnel, given the fact it's so close yardage and this game is very tight.
So on second down and goal, the ball is spotted now at the 4, so they did lose a yard on that play. Just a lot you have to be aware of here. You got Spain coming out. He can run it. Obviously the run game, the screen pass here. And Spain has not been shy about putting the ball up in the end zone.
And if I were the Bearcats here, you have to remain disciplined. You don't want to give up any more yards than you have to.
Spain looking corner, and that one's through the hands. It came in hot on Harris.
And if this game turns out how I think it will, it's probably going to haunt Spain, the fact that he had 2 chances to really score, first with Atkinson a little while ago, and then, of course, the miss to Blessing Harris.
Yeah, you can see this ball comes out hot, but Harris is there. He does get a left hand on it. And we have under 3 minutes to go, and now a third down and goal from the 4-yard line.
And I like that the Bearcats have maintained their push up front and not allowing Spain to kind of break out the pocket and try to run for the score.
Davis is in the backfield now. He will get the carry. He's wrapped up in the backfield. Helmet comes off. That play should be dead. As soon as that helmet comes off, play gets whistled dead. Joey Ramirez was in the backfield. He was the first one there. And 4th and goal coming up. And you wonder if the Roughnecks will take a timeout here. Just over 2 minutes to go. A lot of time has been bled off this clock on this short field drive. The ball is spotted at the 7-yard line, so they've gone backwards here a few yards. Exactly 2 minutes to go.
Yep. 2 minutes between the Bearcats achieving 5-0. Let's see if they can come out here and capitalize and close this game out.
Both teams have had to earn everything on a night like tonight. We'll see if the Roughnecks have another big fourth down in them. They've been good on these fourth down conversions. Can they muster up another one? What could be the final play before the 1-minute warning? Singleton in motion. Spain passing all the way. Here comes the pressure. Back in the end zone. Touchdown!
Wow.
Harris with the leap.
Oh, Spain is down.
Spain
It
took
looks
a
like
big
his
hit.
leg.
We'll get to see the replay. I don't know if we'll get to see the hit on Spain, but what a ball he put at the back of the end zone. And we'll have the timeout here with the score 28-26.
And no pun intended, but a blessing and a curse. You get the touchdown, but your quarterback is down on the field, and it doesn't look like Spain is going to finish the rest of this game.
It surely doesn't, and it comes
At
the
the most-
injury, on the eve of the biggest play of the game for the Roughnecks, this 2-point conversion. I mean, you don't want to say the touchdown doesn't mean anything, but if you can't secure the 2-point conversion, it might be for nothing unless they're able to get the ball back. But it looks like he is getting worked out on that left leg, that left ankle. So with Spain down, once again, we'll remind you that coming up on the PDF Sports Network, we'll begin first and foremost with the game that we plan to have for you tomorrow. The Tri-State Warriors of the Women's Football Alliance. They will be back in action. They're 1-0 this season. They took on the Virginia Panthers today. The game was recorded for us, and we will have it for you live tomorrow in its entirety. Myself and Joe Foreman will be on hand for that game. And then our next Bearcats game will be right here at Warananko in 3 weeks with the Bearcats taking on the Pittsburgh Outlaws. Their one and only meeting this season between the Outlaws, 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 31st.
And it looks like with that, Spain is done for the night.
Yep. And now, who takes the snap here for the 2-point conversion?
Looks
Singleton?
Yeah, looks like Singleton is back there.
Right. And Bird is in the backfield with him. 1:13 remaining in the game.
This is big. What do they have dialed up? The Bearcats need this stop here. They want to.
Singleton's going to throw. Now he's going to step up, and he is in for the 2-point conversion.
Wow. We got ourselves a game here, ladies and gentlemen. It is tied up with 1:13 left.
Wow.
And even with Spain going down, the Roughnecks they still have resolve. I know the Bearcats don't want to hang their heads. There's still time left to finish this and walk out of here undefeated.
On a play that you absolutely have to have with your starting quarterback having gone to the bench with injury. How's this for nerves of steel? Dustin Singleton weaving through traffic and extending for the 2-point score. And it's a 28-28 game.
And I just felt like maybe, are they going to try for the run here? They're going to put it in the air. But, you know, when you don't got your starter out there, you got to go to what works the best. And sometimes that's just leaving the ball on the ground and letting your player do the rest.
So, a tie game. The 1-minute warning is looming. We're at 1:13. We'll probably get the 1-minute warning at the result of this kickoff.
And now here's an interesting thing, Dave. When you were talking earlier about special teams rearing its ugly head, now the Bearcats don't have to actually score a touchdown. They just need to kick a field goal. And as we've seen, they've hit all their extra points throughout this entire game. So they just need to get in field goal position, and this game is done.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. You know, the roof here at Warananko is pretty low, so you've got to really get, you know, maybe the 10-yard line is the very limit because you got to kick a real line driver to get it through. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. They don't have to score the touchdown. They just need to get in field goal range. The Bearcats have 2 timeouts remaining. The Roughnecks have all 3 of theirs left. And remember, with a minute left in the first half, we saw, I think, 4 drives in the last minute.
Yeah.
So this is by no means over. Davis with a good kick. It
Booming
backtracks Ward all the way up. He's got to take it out, or he risks getting caught in the end zone, and if he did, this is going to result in a point. It's a flag first. And it is. They got him.
Wow.
They got him for the point. It's 1 point.
He just let
29.
that one go back there, and now, unfortunately, what seemed like they had the game in their hands, they have to get this field goal down.
They gave them 2. Now, from what I know, this should be a 1-point score, but let's hold it here. The scoreboard has 2. Either way, the Roughnecks have gone ahead in the most improbable way possible. Now, we do have a personal foul that got called on the Roughnecks, so we will add the other point. You were right after all, Alex, so they awarded the 2 points. There's just a lot of discussion going on now because I think if you ruled it a safety, you got to kick the ball back, obviously, to the Roughnecks as well. So the Roughnecks are going to get the points and the ball, which is like crazy right now. But
yeah, definitely.
Now, the other rule that I've known to be in place is if you can't advance it past the end zone, it's a 1-pointer, not a 2-pointer. But in any event, still a 1-score game.
Definitely, and not a position the Bearcats wanted to be in.
Wow.
And you could just see on their sideline, everyone's just stunned at what's just happened here.
And they are taking a long time trying to decipher what happens here. And now I see A.J. Roque coming over to the huddle, making sure. Now, Roque, not only is he the coach and the co-owner of the Bearcats, but he's also the co-owner of the AAL2 of the league. So no one knows the rules better than A.J. and his partner, Jermaine Sanders.
It looks like you got Coach Jarve in the mix as well, trying to figure out what's going to happen.
And I think they're determining, too, who the personal foul was on as well, because there was a personal foul that happened after, and that player may have also been ejected. So I think that's something that they're talking about as well. Yeah, I wonder if Cameron, I was looking for Cameron to see if he can get in there and figure out what's going on. If he's willing to give us a report, I'll bring it down to him. He's eavesdropping, that's for sure.
And it looks like Coach AJ does not seem really happy with the way this discussion is going.
Yep. Cameron has his mic off, but he's had his mic on. I turned them up so we can eavesdrop on what he's hearing, but maybe we'll get him, maybe we won't.
Well, we know this is tense because this could ultimately decide the end of this game.
I think the question is, the points go on the board, and then who gets the ball? What's the result of the penalty, and how does that factor into what's happening as well? There is 1 minute and 8 seconds left.
Yeah, so a little discrepancy here on the safety play. The Bearcats are seemingly going to actually get the ball back. Little rule discrepancy. We really don't know what's going on. A lot of commotion here. Both coaches talking about it. Both teams, Roughnecks, don't seem to know the rule, but Coach AJ is arguing that the Bearcats, it's only a 1-point score, and the Bearcats get the ball on the 5-yard line. That's what they're talking about right now. Still a lot of commotion with the Roughnecks. but the Bearcats should be getting the ball back here, and it will only be a 1-point score. There you go.
Absolutely. Great work, Cameron. And that's the rule that I know it as well. So it almost vindicates what I was saying before. If you can't advance the kickoff past the goal line, it results in a 1-point score, not a safety. So we'll see what they do here. I think they're going to take the 1 point off the board, and they are. So we'll
definitely
we'll
trust the inside of Dave right there with the clean call about what necessarily was going to be the outcome.
Right. And the result of the kickoff stands. So you give the ball to the Bearcats, only I think it's going to be at the 5-yard line. Now remember that after the play there was also a personal foul, so the Bearcats might actually get this ball further up the field. We'll have to see.
But then you got to understand the sense of urgency changes from being in a tie ball game versus now you're down 1.
Yes.
Because it seems like with the Roughnecks, they're kind of playing with house money.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Roughnecks still need to play defense here on this drive.
Oh, definitely need.
Obviously, a field goal still wins it. So the personal fouls were 1 on each team, so that's why that they've put the ball at the 5. So he just picked that up from the official as well in the call. Looks like the ball's going to come to about the 3. All right, so as a result of all of this, 1 minute and 8 seconds left on the clock. The Bearcats are down by 1 thanks to an Uno scored by the Roughnecks. That's the first time we've seen that this season.
And it looks like we got Coach AJ talking to Chris Colo, hopefully giving him the keys needed to make some good plays to get this game wrapped up in 1.
Well, here we go. They're going to have to go 47 yards for a touchdown or shorter to kick a field goal to win the game, assuming this is the final drive of the game. Crisculo stepping up into the pocket. He cannot get past the initial rush. Davis with the 1-yard sack. It'll be 2nd and 11 coming up. Well, I was thinking perhaps they were going for the 1-play drive, take the top off. That's the 1-minute warning as well.
And that might have been coming back to the whole Mateo Rodriguez being out the game, because if we saw in the earlier half of the game, they were letting it fly downfield. Don't know if that's necessarily their go-to when they have Chris Colo in the game, but they need to get something established.
So 1 minute remaining in the game. From here, the clock should stop on every normal dead ball. So if there's a play that goes out of bounds, if there's an incomplete pass, the clock should stop. They've put 1 second on the clock, but that should be 1 minute. There we go. And as a result of all this, 2nd down and a long 10, short 11. They didn't move the stick any. But that ball is at the 2, and the first down marker is at the 12.5. Bearcats down by 1. First time they've been down in the 4th quarter all season long. Ward in motion near side. They look in the flat. Simmons extending, making the play, and getting very close to a first down. I believe he's got it. How did Simmons make that catch?
Yeah, definitely. In traffic, all the pressure on him. And it looks like
clock should be running here.
Yeah.
First down. Well, now they stopped the clock. In the first half, they didn't stop the clock at all. Now they stopped it on a play that I believe it should be running. Wow, the Bearcats
benefiting now.
Yeah, because he didn't go out of bounds. He went back in the field of play. This clock should be running, in my opinion. That's a big first down for the Bearcats, however. 52.3 seconds to go. Crisculo out of the shotgun. In motion this time, top of your screen. Crisculo stepping up, takes it himself, goes out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 47 seconds left, and it's right at the first down marker. I think it might be a little bit short. No, first down. First down.
And it looks like they've tried to get Chris Cole out and about as he's trying to make some plays down the field, but just nothing available, so he's trying to utilize his legs to the best of his abilities, and that's got them the first down.
Yeah, it's one of those things, if they're going to give you the 5 yards, Akeem, you just take it. At this point, you just need real estate, get yourself in field goal range, although I'm sure they'd love to score. 47 seconds on the nose to go here in the fourth. Bearcats down by 1. Drama in Jersey. Crisculo steps up again in the pocket, reverses, middle of the field, caught by Simmons, just outside the 10-yard line, and a timeout is called.
Back-to-back catches for Simmons, and he's got his team feeling good. I'm interested to see what Coach Roque does here, given the fact that they're drawing much closer to that field goal.
Now the timeout was called by the Bearcats, so the Bearcats are down to 1 timeout. 37.4 seconds to go. And the Bearcats can still get a first down without scoring a touchdown here. They got to the 12-yard line. Remember, the Roughnecks have all 3 timeouts remaining as well. So they could stop the clock and try to preserve time if the Bearcats score. Crisculo, Adams into his left. Ward in motion. Fake in the flat. They do go there to Simmons. Simmons halfway in, and he gets held up at about the 5-yard line. He did go out of bounds, so the clock will stop.
Clock will stop.
Yeah, 33.2. Ball's at the 7-yard line, so they're about 5 yards shy of a first. Second down and 5.
Now, I'm interested to see if they're going to try to get Nas the ball and maybe to clean it up.
Yeah, I would. You got 2 plays to get the first down. And Crisculo working with high percentage stuff in the flat.
And some of those Roughneck players look a little fatigued there, so
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Crowd gets up for this one. Crisculo sends him in motion, and we got movement. Looks like Wayne Hill came over the line of scrimmage.
Too antsy there, Dave. And
will it be enough for the first down? And it is going to be second down and short, so 2nd and 1 will be the call. Ball's at about the 3-yard line on the right side of the hash marks. 33.2 seconds to go. Our view a little bit obscured. I might have to rely on the monitor for this one. They'll put Ward in motion. He'll be coming into your screen momentarily. Crisculo back to pass in the flat.
Adams with the score. Wow.
Gets in there on the screen, and the Bearcats go back up by 5.
And that's why I'm not the coach, and they are, and they make the right type of plays. Wow.
So the 5-point lead. With 28 seconds to go. There it is. Adams on the screen, the low screen, and he walks it in. But there's still time.
It's definitely still time.
And they are going to go for 1 here.
I mean, we were right about the guy to get the ball to, just changing the way he got the ball.
Not the way we thought it would happen. They are going to go for 2. They are going to switch things up. And I thought this was, you know, it's a 50-50 thing, Akeem, because you'd like to go up by 6 so that you're insured. If you give up a touchdown, at least you could still potentially tie. But by going for 2, if you make it, now you force the Roughnecks to score and score on a 2-point conversion as well. 2-point conversion coming up. Crisculo has a lot of time. Very little rush.
He's going to run for
Gonna
that.
take it himself.
Looks like he's in.
Do we get a signal here? No
Not
signal
yet.
yet. No,
There we go.
It was a little late, but it got through. And they go up by 7. 19.8 seconds to go. This game not over yet. We'll get to see it one more time. And you can see the Roughnecks just put everybody back in coverage.
And just like that, the Bearcats have pulled their way back into this. With the lead, 19.8 left, could be kind of done for the Roughnecks.
Well, remember what they've been able to do on kickoffs. They've run every kickoff back really, really well. And so, if you're the Roughnecks, if you can get this ball close to midfield, you still have time to run 2 or 3 plays. And that's exactly what they've been doing on these kickoffs.
And just like the end of the first half, we've seen this back and forth affair, and sure does rear its head here towards the end of the game. Real exciting in the last 2 minutes of how everything has shifted.
Absolutely, and both teams having lost their starting quarterbacks in this game. Chris Crisculo has come on and led the Bearcats to a couple of big scoring drives. And if it is Dustin Singleton who takes over for Spain, Spain's got an ice pack on his ankle. He's done.
Yeah, he's done.
They're going to need some heroics here, will the Roughnecks. 19.8 seconds to go. Storego needs to really get into this one. Here we go. A squibbing kick.
Oh.
Singleton off of his face mask, gets it back, wants to get it out there, and he is put down. Clock never started.
Wow.
I don't know why the clock doesn't start there.
Looks like a couple of the Roughneck
now
coaches.
We have flags again. And this is when flags are big here, Akeem, because the ball's at about the 20-yard line. If this is on the Roughnecks, they're going to be put back all the way back in their own end of the field. Not to mention the fact that the Roughnecks had 9 players on the field. They had kicker walking around without a helmet on.
Yeah, he was towards the sideline.
Right, he was trying to have a conversation with the officials, but he was on the field. And we see the referees now going over to the scorer's box to counsel them on the score, on the time left, because the clock never ran on that. And that was a good, 7-8 seconds that probably should have come off the clock there. The personal fouls were offsetting. And so here we go. 28 yards away from the end zone. All right, so it'll be 14 seconds left. So they did take 6 seconds off the clock.
Now, in this point, Singleton can't just seem to run it in. He might have to go to the air, and I don't know if he's necessarily built for that, given the fact that Spain's out, but he's got to do it some way, somehow.
We haven't seen him throwing a ball yet. He ran for the score.
Oh!
Snap, and it comes out to Bird. Bird gets put down at the 20-yard line. Clock stops with 8.6 to go as the Roughnecks call a timeout. And I'm not sure what happened on that snap. We'll get another look at it. Slowed down.
He just couldn't handle it. And
let's see if we can pick up the snap here. It's just a squibbing snap. It's just a poor snap by the center. So a loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Not that it matters too much. Second down and 12. 8.6 seconds. Potentially the final play. We'll see. The Roughnecks can still stop the clock twice on timeouts. Flag is down. They go for the home run. Middle of the field.
Interception!
Barry Turner with another one. We'll have to see what the penalty flag is about. But if it's against the Roughnecks, this game is over. It's against the Bearcats.
Wow.
We'll get another look at it. Either way, Turner gets up and gets another one. That pass put into double coverage. It was a prayer all the way.
Didn't give kicker any chance, but I like how the Bearcats just smothered him, not allowing him to get behind them.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7 coming up after the penalty. And this should be the final play. 3.9 seconds to go. 25 yards away from the end zone. The Roughnecks, I believe, have called another timeout. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the residents of Rose Albert treated to a great one tonight here.
It's a great debut.
Yes.
Game for you. You got a really good one. Here we go. One play for it all. They look in the end zone. Jump ball. Incomplete, and this one is over. The Bearcats have held on in the battle for Jersey. They are 2 for 2. And the final score is 36-29.
Wow, what a game. What a game.
Unbelievable. Some rough feelings at the end of this one, but handshakes going up.
Handshakes everywhere. I like to see it. It's like getting challenged by your little brother, Dave. Sometimes you got to put him in his place, but you respect him for the fight he put up.
Absolutely. And could be wrong, but I have a feeling these two teams are going to meet again in the playoffs.
Oh, definitely. This doesn't seem like it's over.
Yeah. 2 great games for these teams. And listen, it was sloppy. There was a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties. We had some injuries in the game, but at the end of the day, it was a pretty close game at the end.
Yes, definitely. And if I'm the Roughnecks, I don't want to hang my head too much because they competed all the way into the end.
Absolutely. We're going to throw it down to Cameron in just a moment once he gets our player of the game. We'll see who he grabs. Maybe it's Turner, who had a couple of interceptions, I believe.
Looks like it might be Nas Adams.
Might be Nas Adams. Yeah, why not? Had the big rushing touchdown, had that touchdown at the end, the big 2-point conversion.
And I know the Bearcat mothers have to be happy having that little opening ceremony where they came out and got recognized and see their boys come up with the win to remain undefeated.
All right, we're going to throw it back down to Cameron Williams. Cameron, go ahead. We can't pick up. No, we're not getting. I hear you.
Nas, I'm here with you, player of the game. You scored the winning touchdown, big touchdown. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know, man. Coach said go win the game. We were playing a little bit, it was a little rough. We were going back and forth. But, when the time came, I had to pull a dog out, so.
Yeah, very chippy all game, back and forth. Very tight game. You guys ended up winning 36-29, but very chippy. How'd you guys overcome that?
I mean, we just got to stay poised, you get what I'm saying? We had some mistakes on our end. We didn't play a perfect game at all. But, as long as we stay poised, play Bearcat football, we'll be all right.
You guys are 5-0 now. This is your 5th win, 2nd time beating the Roughnecks. How do you guys look to go into next week?
We just got to go 1-0 every week. We went 1-0 this week. We're going to go 1-0 next week. God willing, and we keep going forward.
Great game, Nas. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Right. Well, Cameron gets Coach K. Nas Adams was nominated by Cameron Williams as our player of the game, and now, the moment you've all been waiting for, it's the Coach K wrap-up show.
I'm here with Coach K, the #1 AAL2 wrap-it-up show. I'm here with Coach K. Coach K, what do you got for us? Big win here.
Big win. I'm really excited. Obviously, we've got to clean some stuff up. And it was just a penalty fest. You can't ever blame the refs, but, that was just – we just got to play Bearcat football. We were getting inside their heads and a whole bunch of extracurriculars going on. We play Bearcat football. No one can hang with us, obviously. So, good win. We're going to go back to the drawing board.
That's right, Coach. Even a penalty-filled game that costed you guys a lot of yardage and some touchdowns, but you guys overcame it. That's the Bearcat way. You guys are 5-0. What's it feel like going into next week?
5-0 always feels good, but there's a whole bunch of stuff we got to work on Tuesday in practice, and I'm looking forward to it, especially, with me with special teams. We had the effort. It just wasn't clicking today.
100%. Coach K, thank you very much. Got anything else to say?
Yeah, Arabella Lynn, if you see this, it's time for bed. Go to bed.
Thank you, Coach K. Back to take it home.
There we go. A little bit of Jermaine Sanders in there, the co-owner of the Bearcats as well. So once again, we are final here, and we'll get that final score back up on the screen for you. But Akeem, what are some of your major takeaways? Your first, up close action with the Jersey Bearcats in the AAL2. Final thoughts.
I have to give it a huge shout out to the Jersey Bearcats. They seemed like they came in hot, got a little flustered towards the end of that first half, got back out with a different quarterback, given the fact that Mateo had to leave the game, unfortunately, due to some conduct. And even though the Roughnecks kept in there, kept kind of trying to end this game, the Bearcats remained poised, remained confident, and they finished the game strong, as we've seen with that last score from Nas Adams, and then ultimately them breaking up the play on the Roughnecks' last chance to get the win.
All right, so the Bearcats improved to 5-0 this season. The Roughnecks fall to 2-3. They cannot catch the Bearcats unless, of course, the Bearcats lose a bunch of games here at the end. But that will really do it for us. I want to thank our engineer tonight, Alex Paramithis. His first game with us, just like you, Akeem, did a great job for us, Alex. So great job. Thank you for joining us. Of course, our cameraman extraordinaire, Pat Gialorenzo. Pat Fleming there, keeping him company, who's probably going to give me a jump from my car in a little while that's dead. But I want to thank our entire crew here for my broadcast partner and colleague, Akeem James. My name is David Pizzuto, wishing you a great rest of the evening. Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there tomorrow. Wishing you the best rest of the weekend, and we'll see you next time here on the PDF Sports Network. Thanks for joining us. Once again, your final score, 36-29 in favor of the Bearcats.